What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and not the result we would have wanted. The Cats going down by 9 points in our return bout against the Fremantle Dockers. They put up a pretty good fight whilst down a few troops leading into the night. Some admirable stuff, but there's also a few concerns there that I'm absolutely sure we're going to be discussing over the course of the night. Looking forward to chatting to all of you throughout about this particular result. The Cats going down 14-15, 99 Fremantle to Geelong's 14-6, 90. We led by as much as 28 points in the first half. Freo pulled it away to about as much as 19. Bit of an arm wrestle towards the end there. We certainly had our opportunities to pinch it at the end, if it just weren't for a little bit of cleaner disposal towards the end there. But Freo, to their credit, defended very, very well as well. Didn't quite get the job done. No real excuses for the loss. Sure, we are missing some troops, but we had more than enough cattle out there tonight to get the job done. And so we'll lick our wounds. We'll reflect. I think there's a few changes that need to be made personnel-wise, and we'll get those opportunities to make them. I think we've got more than what it takes to be able to take down Freo, as well as any other team in the competition. So we'll see how this one shakes out over the remainder of the season. Please, you'll see the QR code in the corner if you want to jump in tonight and talk about the game. That is your invite to do so. So please don't hesitate to use the QR code to get involved. Of course, I'm aware that it is a Thursday night and the game has started a little bit later than it would normally on the Eastern Seaboard. So this is going to be a late one. I've got to go to work tomorrow. Most of you have probably got to go to work tomorrow. So we'll see how long we actually kick on for. I know there's also a bit of interest from a certain individual in our green room at the moment in the soccer game that's coming up in a few hours. I don't even know what time it starts. Someone in the chat, let me know, when does the Aussies versus US game kick off? It's not that far away anyway. So I think there's plenty of positives to take from this particular game despite the final result. But at the same time, they could have also blown us away by a lot more. Some of the inefficiencies from Freo in that first to second quarter in front of the sticks, they leveled things out, would have leveled things out very nicely for them much earlier in the piece. Saturday, 5 a.m, says Foxy. Thanks for sharing that one, mate. And Quiet Strength as well. Thank you both for providing that little bit of detail. We'll discuss this game in a lot of depth with those of you in the chat, those of you who jump in. So again, don't hesitate to use the QR or the link that will inevitably pop up at some point. Shout out to with the Lincoln Park hoodie. It's the first time I've actually donned it. I finally plucked it out of the boot after going to the gig earlier in the year. But we'll get our first guest in for the night, assuming he's ready. Ethan, I can see in the green room, he's nodding away. We'll get our layout ready to go. Oh, thanks, mate. Another elite team like Carlton losing. Look, it happens. But aren't you guys going for like 6 straight this week or something ridiculous like that? Like it's something, I don't know. I can't wait to see how it goes for Carlton at the moment. It's a fascinating watch, but we're not here to talk about Carlton. Sorry, mate. Let's bring Ethan in as our first guest for the night. And that's not how the layout was supposed to work. Good one, Ben. Let's try
there we go.
Let's try it again. There we go. Button didn't work.
Hey,
right. How's things, mate?
Pretty good, all things considered. I am in Atlanta and am going to the Czechia-South Africa game that's kicking off in a little over 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
Going to that, and then I will also be at the Jordan-Algeria game back in the Bay Area on Monday. My brother will be going to the Australia-Paraguay game. He'll be way up in the corner at Levi's, but he will be there. We will be cheering for you guys. The only time we aren't cheering for you guys is this Friday, or I guess your Saturday in Seattle. Real quick on that, I wish I had realized how perfect Australia's schedule of games are for a road trip, going Vancouver, Seattle, Bay Area.
Is it a nice logistical?
Yes, it is. Going down the West Coast, like a 5-day stretch where you can explore Oregon. It's pretty perfect. Of all of the World Cup travel, they might have the best logistically. That's the most content I've been with us in a loss this year.
Yeah.
All things considered, knowing what we were missing, knowing what we were up against, and knowing the fact that we probably should have lost that by a lot more with some of their inaccuracy, outside of that kind of Martin and Wiltshire run in the first quarter, they were pretty clearly the superior team. And I think we definitely missed Bailey Smith.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, we're missing Bailey Smith. An interesting one there, and I think Ben's kind of hit the nail on the head. I think the Luke, and this is obviously not a slight on Mitch Edwards at all. He's young, he's developing, but the many assets that Luke Jackson brings to the game, they weaponized all of those. Oh, sorry, and took full advantage and gave, like, whether it was scoreboard impact, whether it was some silver platter service to his mids, whether it's just the ability to follow up. I think some things that Mitch Edwards in himself will be able to develop as he spends more time in the system.
Yeah. He's been a godsend this season. He's been an overwhelming positive.
Absolutely.
He got taken to school tonight. No two ways about it. And I think we should have switched Blitzovs onto that matchup sooner. I also wasn't really sure what we were trying to do with O'Sheen. I mean...
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who he played on.
They've got four good candidates to tag between Sarong, Reed, Bolton, and Brayshaw, and he didn't really do any of that. And I thought we really needed probably both of Atkins and Mullen to step up in Bailey's absence, and neither really did. Atkins at least played a good fourth quarter, but a lot of the night wasn't up to standard. Like, he was the one who let Sarong off on that goal right off of the Cox hit out.
Yeah.
But I thought we had some things out of this game, like the way we were able to get out to that lead. When's the last time that we've been able to kick a bunch of goals against the run of play? Like, that's something to take from this and move forward with.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I mean, I guess the one thing is that they probably had a few, like Freo had, I'm just double checking it now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, they had a 5-goal stretch, and then then we kicked a couple back, and then they had another 1, 2, 3, 4, another 5-goal. But like, so we've got these little mini ones that I think we could do a little bit better at kind of shutting down. But I do agree with the general sentiment.
Like, what got us out to that lead in the first place, where when we kicked those 7 in a row, we were not the superior team for the bulk of that stretch.
Yeah. 1, 2. I'm just checking how many behinds they kicked in that stretch of goals for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 behinds in that time that we kicked our 7 goals. So
a couple of times when we were able to get out there, that we were able to make something happen. Like, there was like the pressure that Ollie Henry had to create the Jezza goal. That was, I think, my favorite moment of the night. That and the stuff Wiltshire did for us.
I think, look, I agree with actually both of those plays were fantastic ones. And I guess to quickly revisit the actual behind tally in there, the thing I do factor in, obviously there were certainly a few very gettable ones that they missed. There was also a few that were, long range kicks that are coin tosses, even for some of the best forwards in the game. So, and that is something that Geelong has always done well, where we might find that our opponent has the ball and they're having a shot on goal, but they're rarely that easy front and center, 20 meters out, because it's been like, got a couple of them tonight. Thanks.
They got a couple of them late, but like when. What was it? There was one where Tracy got wide open off of a turnover. There were a couple of those kind of in the third quarter, especially.
Yeah.
But that wasn't so much, that wasn't the initial guy.
Yeah.
It was, guy marked it and then had a further opportunity on.
Yeah. Jezza 400 here says that surely Buse gets a go after that performance by Collar. While I am very keen to argue the point for Jed Buse,
especially with the next game being against Charlie Cameron, I think.
Yeah, and he's usually the one I cite more than anyone else. I don't think Jed Buse was the one to fix things in this case, because it was still those tall, like it was the delivery to the tall blokes. He wasn't defending the tall blokes properly. Jed Buse is a great asset for the smalls, for your Dudleys and your and co that kind of go rolling through that part of the ground.
He would have helped with Switkowski.
Yeah, especially I think he started to get busy in that second half in particular.
I thought Switkowski was phenomenal for them. Like, Jackson and Reed are going to get the most love, and deservedly so. But Switkowski, once again, that guy who kind of bridges the midfield and forward 50 that we kind of just let do whatever he wants, like a little bit like Neil Boland a couple of weeks ago. And I get, like, against these guys, you're going to have to pick your poison. I mean, they don't have a single weakness playing. Who's the weak link out of their 23 right now?
No, that's that's a really good point. Like, it's the sort of thing we've been talking about a little bit with some of the other teams we've played lately. You go, okay, but there's the 4 or 5 kind of towards the tail end of their list. You go, okay, that's where we can exploit it. But you look at their 18 is fantastic. No concerns about any of the individuals on the board there, really. There's some that probably had moments tonight, the Chapmans and co, but they also, for all that they looked vulnerable at points, they also took advantage of some great opportunities.
More vulnerable, but like some of the.
But you look at that bench, you go, Erasmus was fantastic whenever he was on.
Erasmus has been doing this
things
all year.
Yeah.
He has gone from a guy who only gets games when someone's hurt to
a walk-up almost.
Just like a really quality player. He's not an A grader, but he's part of that. He has established himself in a tier of regulars, and then the other one I really like with them, who's finally starting to find his footing again, and I think we actually largely held down tonight, was O'Driscoll, who I think is just a really good wing player.
Yeah.
He's one of my absolute favorites, actually, and seeing him healthy is nice. Like, I like these guys. They're one of the teams that I definitely have a more positive opinion of.
Yep. No, I'd agree with that. The only exception
they don't have a bunch of flaws. I like the way they play when they Voss is a fun kind of shit disturber too.
He's got some dickhead energy that I don't like.
Oh, he does, but God, that's where
he's entertaining. I'll acknowledge it. He's entertaining, especially. But
God, I wish we had Brian in there tonight for.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing for a lot of us to take heart on here tonight. Obviously, there was some that I think in some key positions on the ground that really had some shockers. But at the same time, we were missing Tom Stewart, we were missing Bailey Smith, we were missing Brian Myers.
We needed Brian out there.
I'm sure I'm forgetting someone else.
After like the one that Voss missed in round 1, pointing at him like, "Hey, go back." That's one of my favorite moments of the year still. But
so I think there's plenty to take heart in.
I guess their weakest link would have been Frederick, and I thought like our forwards did all they could. And in that first half, a couple of times where we were able to prevent intercept marks and get it to ground level against something off that was the best thing Shannon Neal brought us tonight.
Yeah, he did a good job of there was a little run there in that last quarter when we were kind of really surging where Alex Pearce just kept getting on the end of a few of them. Mm-hmm. But for all but those probably 5-ish minutes, I would totally agree. Shannon Neal did a great job of either clunking himself in the first or bringing the ball to ground.
Yeah, maybe we should have had Jack Henry trying to do that on Pierce, or maybe with their amount of tolls, even though his defending hasn't been great, I get why we kept Henry back. I would have actually engaged him in more one-on-ones.
And I feel like Henry played that role on Paddy Voss and did a pretty solid job for the most part.
I thought our best defender and maybe our best player period tonight was DeConing.
Yep, agreed.
Max Holmes got a lot of the ball, but he was way too turnover prone.
Yeah, there was a few of those grand final kicks from Max. Like, he did some great things, and there were a few fantastic disposals, but there were a few really critical errors that were pretty.
He had a handball that he just put way over Jack Henry's head that led to a goal.
Yeah, there was a few unfortunate kind of critical errors from him.
They got him with 9 turnovers, and unfortunately, when Stewart's not in there, you really need him cleaner.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Where are we? So I'm just taking a look at some numbers as we work our way through this one. As much as the free kick count is very tipped in Freo's way, I didn't have any significant concerns over that. There was one or two howlers that were missed at different points, but I think for the most part,
from DeConing on Hayden Young was really bad. The umpiring didn't affect the game, but it went in their favor, which, like, look, when you travel out of state, you expect that. And it's just frustrating that unless you count Gather Round, we have one true out-of-state win this year.
Yeah, what was the stat pre-game? It was, I think we were 3-5 or 5. 3-5. I think it was what I read.
Well, I'm just like, outside of Victoria altogether, the one win is Brisbane. Gold Coast, we know how that went. 2 shitty trips to Adelaide. And now this. I'd love if we could steal one against GWS, who is starting to look in form, but this was going to be tough. And a game like this that you knew the odds were against you, it just magnifies how important it is to close out those games. The Adelaide game, the Carlton game, those are the 8 points that if we had those 8 points, would totally take this in stride and say, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I do think, as good as Freo are, they are due to drop a couple. Like, I can't see them getting to the end of the season with 21 wins, you know.
No.
I could see
confident they'll drop some.
Yeah. I feel like they'll drop 2 or 3. And I thought maybe the way they were kicking in the first half, we had a real chance to catch them on one of those off nights, and that would have been sweet.
But to their credit, they put it all together.
Yeah, they did. I give them a lot of credit for getting their shit together, and I'm just glad that they didn't do it like at the start of the fourth quarter where they usually go on those runs. Because if you had held me in for 3 quarters and actually got me to really believe, I would be a lot more bothered right now. But they kind of let us down gently. You know, we competed. We didn't get blown out, even though we definitely could have. They didn't trick us into thinking we had this one. By halftime, we knew, like, all right, this is attainable, but we're not running away with this.
Yeah,
I think this one's more you can put on the players rather than on coaching. There were a couple of coaching things I would have liked to fix, but we got pretty thoroughly outplayed on a lot of fronts by a very informed and very deep team.
Yeah, look, I guess I don't want to be too crazy Freo focused. I do wonder, like, it feels like they've been playing at their ceiling for a while. I can't help but wonder, because it's just where the mind goes. I can't help but wonder if, they're playing their grand finals, not necessarily this particular game, but they're playing their finals in the middle of the season. Like, can they keep maintain the rage? Sorry. But they are playing fantastic football. To their great credit.
Yeah, and it's just like, God, if they could have struggled for a few minutes more, you wonder what this one could have turned into, but
there we go. There's Sticks popping in saying sack the defensive coach, blaming Nathan Buckley. I've got no problem.
We definitely missed some of the
communication but
on one-on-ones tonight. I don't know how much of this one was a structural or coaching thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was either. I think it was decision-making and errors.
There were some skill errors, and there were just some where they just made plays. My bigger frustration was just a couple of times we let, like, Sarong or whoever just kind of run free on clearances. Like, again, that Sarong goal off of the Mason Cox hit out when, where was that? That was in the third quarter somewhere. That was really irritating. Where Atkins, of all people, just kind of got caught flat-footed and just stood there.
Yeah. The one that probably bothered me the most, and to his credit, fantastic player, his disposal with ball in, like, his disposal is incredible. The one that bothered me most was Murphy Reid, who at this point, so very clearly, especially when he's playing that midfield role, his game is about as predictable as Ollie Dempsey's. Not playing the same role, of course, but it is so clear that he will, if that ball kind of goes backwards of center, he's going to peel off, create that 15 meters, and he's going to look for that handball over the top, that however it gets there.
He's doing much more through the corridor, but he kind of got us over the top.
15 meters from the contest and through the corridor, and then from there he's got those supreme skills and decision making, and he just laces someone out. So I think we took too long to kind of click onto that.
Yeah, and Bolton got us with some of the handballs over the top a few times. Yeah. I think this is a game that we will learn from. We will be able to benefit from. This is, I think, what should be the most productive you can get out of a loss. List stuff. Let's see. Player ratings are in, and wow. Player ratings have Shannon Neal as the best player on ground, period.
I mean,
and they have.
I was impressed, but
they have De Koning as worst. I don't see that at all. I thought DeConing was actually, I'm giving him my nod for the polished turd for this game.
Sam DeConing was considered the worst.
I don't get that at all. I guess
doesn't make any,
kick
no, it doesn't make any
was
sense.
low, but I thought defensively, he was 4 for 4 in his one-on-ones defensively and did fine in the ruck. I thought he was excellent. Player ratings have not been as cut and dry this year. They have Shannon Neal ahead of Jackson, I think, because Jackson got dinged for 10 turnovers. Even so, I thought he was very good. That's some of these I don't get.
Tanner Bruin, I thought, was pretty solid on the night. Actually, in fact, I think I saw someone, quite strength.
Put together 2 decent games in a row. And if he can just keep stringing better,
there was only one really, and it still resulted in a goal anyway because Ollie Henry handled it supremely well, where he just faked and then got the easy shot on goal, but where he slipped as he kicked. That was about the only ugly moment from Tanner, and it worked out okay anyway. But
that was a great little improvisation moment too.
Yeah,
if Tanner can keep playing this way, this sort of consistency, these last 2 weeks have been refreshing for him. Has he set the world on fire? No. We thought after opening round, wow, he was excellent. Nobody else showed up, but welcome back. I'd say now I like the consistency he showed. I'm much more encouraged by that.
I think he got back to him. I think he got back to those early rounds sort of form tonight. So it was good.
Was a little disappointed that we couldn't get more out of Jack Bowes. I thought we used him on the right spots on the ground, and he just didn't really produce.
He's pretty good at breaking through contests, but he just wasn't able to get through tonight. Do we need to, and just because, how am I pronouncing this? Cinevile Siren 2 says Collar's cooked.
I think he might be.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards that too.
With Tom Stewart, well, especially now with the bye. Finally, we get the bye at long last. With the bye coming up, Tom Stewart an extra week to recover. Surely he's got to be the one that makes way for Tom Stewart in that.
I would think, Cola. I would think Bowes would be one of the more expendable as well, and then we'll see what they do with Ryan.
What about, just as you're talking about expendables and players that are kind of on that fringe or maybe on the outs? We love him here. What do you think about George Stevens' game tonight?
I thought he did pretty well for himself.
Good. We're on the same page. Yeah, some great clearances standing up through the contest. The one that ultimately Jezza missed, but the one where he earned the free kick because someone was hanging off him, and then he just tucked the ball under his arm, took off, kept that momentum going. That's what I want to see from him, because we want, we know how good he is in the inside, but a bit of that outside bullish approach was fantastic as well. So, no, Brendan, you panicked for a second, but we weren't. There was not going to be any criticism of George. He is, of course, though, one that's going to be kind of on that fringe in and out, and I'm glad he put in a really good game tonight.
He's better by foot than I think we ever really saw last year. The way he kind of was able to stretch across the center square. I really liked his game. I thought he played a smart and consistent game to the point that it, even with the lack of foot speed, especially against that midfield, he held his own. Yeah.
No, I was pretty impressed by how, and there was one or two moments where I think there was a few instances where he's partnered up with Caleb Sarong and he got himself a bit lost in the contest. But Caleb Sarong's one of your premier mids in the comp. It's going to happen from time to time. Class wins out.
If he didn't have so many other top tier players around him, there would be a very reasonable discussion for Sarong to win the Brownlow. He's outstanding.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. He was fantastic. He's spent a bit of time out recently too, but quite strength. This has been a sentiment that I've seen expressed in the Discord a couple times in the last week or so. I think it's really important that for George Stevens' development. Now, of course, they're picking a team to win a premiership, so there's a whole other factor in the mix here. But in terms of George Stevens' development, I'd like to see him get something closer to a 5 to 6 game block to really build himself into an AFL level footballer, because there was some great signs last week, some great signs again tonight. Obviously, on top of that, I didn't even cite it, but he kicked the goal as well. Lots of opportunity there for him. Hopefully he can take it.
Yeah.
Big fella says, did we miss Warple tonight?
I don't think so. I think it's really hard to accommodate all three of Stevens, Atkins, and Warple. If one of those was, I think you can only play two of those three, and I don't see us doing it, but at some point I wouldn't be opposed to managing Atkins for a game.
Yep.
Look, if we don't pick up any more injuries, and who knows what comes in the next couple days, the broadcasters were fixated on Jez's arm.
Oh, geez, they love that chat. He's favoring it. He's obviously favoring it, but yeah.
We might be back to a point, though, where we're going to have more AFL caliber players than we have available slots. And then we'll be able to start rotating guys again and have a management schedule moving forward. Because if you work in Ryan and Stewart and Bailey and Buse, or even just a couple of those, because, Buse might be tied up in a basement somewhere, might be held hostage.
Jed, if you're watching and you need some help, use that chat, use the comment section.
We're going to be at a point, hopefully he's not locked in an electrical closet like a Mike Leach did years ago to a guy. But we're going to be at a point, unless someone picked up an injury we don't know about, that we're going to have more than 23 guys that we're comfortable giving games to. Like, Wiltshire continues to establish himself as someone who belongs in there and provides a lot of fire and a lot of quick punch.
And in the meantime, just obviously Ollie Wiltshire did some great things tonight, but at the same time, you've got Ryan, who's could come back at any point. Brad Close had started to get back on the right track at the time that he was actually dropped. I'm happy with the change that was made, but he's by all absolutely playing still AFL level, just lower AFL level. And Tyson Stengel now is back on the scene and exploded out the blocks for with the VFL as well. So there's a nice suite of options there available to us in that space. But if Ollie keeps playing the way he is, why drop him?
Yeah, we're at a point though. I feel my biggest gripe coming out of this game is it's going to be a couple weeks before we have a chance to win again. And after a loss, I don't like wearing all my stuff around, even though not too many people here know what I'm talking about. But just to have to go a couple weeks without winning is always a drag, even if it's just one game.
That's a long time to be away from the game. I mean, I think it's an important break at a really good time for the Cats. But as for us as fans, it sucks. Yeah, miss footy for a little bit. Caleb's just popped in here, says the game felt like the Hawks played us in late 2008, just before finals, and there's a blueprint to beat them, and I'd love to see us prove it. I think that's a really good perspective on it. I think obviously I made the comment of maybe Freo playing at their ceiling at the moment, but I do think there is what we saw is a clear way to beat them, and there's some data that we spoke about kind of in my preview video in the lead up there that I think also reflects ways that you can get Freo, and we took advantage of that at different points.
I think the biggest
we
thing
couldn't nullify some of their strengths at the same time.
The biggest thing with Freo, it's like, where could they regress? It's a couple of their kind of second tier midfielders have just been playing incredibly well, but also like they aren't a great bunch of one-on-one defenders in the back. I mean, even Pierce is more of a sweeper than a one-on-one.
Yep.
Like, is Brennan Cox going to keep playing this well? I would keep challenging him. If they keep it up through him, more power to him. But yeah, I'm not worried big picture about anything we saw tonight. I've seen a bunch in the chat calling this an honorable loss, and I would agree with that. That's probably the first time ever that we've had a lead that big and haven't been able to hold it And I've just kind of said, yeah, all right. Like, I think the rainy game at the Gaba last year when we had a similar size lead and didn't hold on. And that one was much more frustrating than this.
Yeah.
It was a lot more of what they did right than what we did wrong.
Sorry, I got distracted by the fact that I just got an email from Rockstar Games out of nowhere.
Cool. But yeah, I guess 3-2-1.
Yeah, sorry, fire away.
This one's tricky. I know that on Frio's end, clear best on ground, Jackson, clear second best, Reed. Third, I think there's a discussion to be had between Sarong, Brayshaw, Switkowski. But for us, I think our best, despite what Champion Data thinks,
yeah, I'm with you.
I think it's got to be DeConing. I think
and
we're in a world of hurt without him.
I've gone completely blank on his name. Sully, I'd put Sully up there in that same conversation as well. I think he did
He got
pretty
beat a
good
couple
job.
times, but he had tough assignments as well.
Yeah. But I think what he did well is, for the most part, he got hit. Now, don't get me wrong, Josh Tracy's got a fair slipper on him and can launch the ball a long way. But he
Tracy's
did make
such a
sure that
good
those
contestant. Mark,
opportunities
it's
were
ridiculous.
now I've poked the bear. Millsy, nothing to worry about. Dory, pre-orders are going live on the 25th. 1 week and you can pre-order GTA 6. They are not budging from that release date. I have that on very good authority. Sorry to instill a bit of panic there, mate. Sorry.
No, what's the release date again?
November 19.
All right. Well, then we don't have a chance to beat them at home, but we have a chance to beat GWS before GTA 6.
Yes, we do. Yes. And who cares? Look, if we get another crack at Freo, it's only going to be finals now. I was really hoping. I let my mind wander to this scenario as we were, leading into the game, especially when we got up by what was it, 28 points or thereabouts. Like when we started to build that decent lead, I'm sitting back going, "Oh, this is 2011."
I was thinking
they're going to win all these games, but we're going to be that team, and we're going to do them again on Grand Final Day.
I was thinking more to when they had that huge home game against Brisbane last year and they just couldn't get out of their own way. And I was hoping that would keep up. And unfortunately, they kicked a couple goals before halftime and settled things.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Sorry, I got distracted. Ben put a comment in there about Tony Modger and there's
he had
an article. So just a little update for people. It's I guess it's fairly published an hour ago.
I saw that.
AFL legend Tony Modger after a serious truck crash in South Australia.
Fingers crossed for him and his family.
Yeah, sending best wishes to him and, of course, the family as well. Hopefully he's okay, but he's currently in Flinders Medical Centre where he remains in a critical condition. So wishing him the very, very best. And hopefully he comes out the other side of it in good shape.
But yeah, 3-2-1. I'm adamant that our best was definitely Sam DeConing, but past that, I kind of.
You could throw a blanket over a lot of them as that kind of next best, but they also had, because they all had moments that were great.
I think
also
I'm going to go Bruin and Danger past that, even though Danger was so good out of the middle, but he had multiple center clearances that he just followed up by kicking it right down one of their defenders' throats.
Yep,
it was kind of an almost game for him.
A lot of those ones that you described that I'm thinking of, two of those ones where he's got very low. It's this worm burner. It's barely elevated above the ground, but it's just gone bang straight into cannon straight into someone's chest. So which kind of links in with that that nearly sort of thing that you're just flagging there.
Yeah, but again, this is not a game.
Mark O'Connor too, actually. Mark O'Connor was one I was pretty happy with.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he had a couple moments late that were frustrating, but an overall quality game out of him.
I think the way, especially earlier in the game, where he burst through contest on a few occasions, where he was the one that kind of just was that body or that hand on the ball, like that fist on the ball, that just brought it to ground. Then he sharked the ball himself, appropriate. wording there. He sharked the ball himself and then took the ball out of the contest. There was some really important plays from him in that period where Freo was starting to get a bit of momentum, and when we were kind of scoring. Despite that, he did some particularly good things in that sense. So
he did a good bit of that stuff last week as well.
Yeah.
Caleb just commented, need to stick tackles way too easily. Did Freo shrug us off? I saw that a few times. I thought it was much more of an epidemic earlier in the season, and at least I'll take some consolation in that the guys who were shrugging tackles against us were guys who do that to everybody instead of, it's one thing if like some scrawny little dude shrugs a tackle. When it's Caleb Sarong, it's like, yeah, he kind of does that too.
When it's Paddy Voss who was just fending people off left, right, and center and managed to get away with a few. Actually, and sorry, I said before the umpires are mostly pretty good. There is one, I'm sure, just now, like given that we've gone down this ballpark of players getting tackled and whatever, the one that wasn't given to us when we brought Shea Bolton to ground, he bounced the ball. And absolute bullshit. Dead set bullshit.
They just made that shit up on the spot. Oh, he had already lost the ball, so it's a ball up. Like, that's not a thing any umpire has ever said before.
No.
Either it's holding the ball or it's a hold.
The ball is oval shaped. It doesn't always bounce consistently. That's just luck of the draw, champ. And you lost control of the ball. You got tackled. That's your fault. That's your fault. Yep. And not a great position for that to occur in too. So thankfully it wasn't, there was no other. Did it result in the goal eventually?
I don't think that one led to anything, but
it was certainly an opportunity because the ball was pinging around back and forth at that point. There was every reason why Geelong could have whisked the ball back up the other end themselves. So,
but that moment was like, I was so stunned by that. It's like, I'm not even mad because I'm just trying to comprehend what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. Big fella asked, how is Manor not getting the pill? He's usually pretty good at finding it. I actually thought he found it pretty well tonight, but there was just a few times where he'd get ball and bang, get crashed into pretty quickly, and the ball
they did a good job on him.
Pop out.
I thought we did need more out of him tonight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he certainly could have brought more, but I don't think it was an inability to find the ball. It was just an inability to get free enough to dispose of the ball.
Real quick fun thing. Despite the fact that next week is our bye, this should actually be a pretty entertaining round of games to watch. And if I didn't have commitments at home, honestly, this would have been a fun round to be there for. You could hate watch Hawthorn. You got a Brisbane Sydney game at the Gabba.
Yeah,
and you have Showdown getting Saturday night all to itself.
And obviously there's a bit of, Gold Coast have fallen away a bit, but Gold Coast and Freo will be interesting to watch two teams like North and Essendon stink it up, and that'll be a fascinating one. We've got the crosstown rivalry between Adelaide and Port that's on. Collingwood and Richmond. Yeah, this is a pretty good round of football actually coming up.
Yeah, for a round with only 7 games and to not have the Bulldogs in the mix of that, who I think are just must see. Positive or negative every week, because you never know what they're going to give you. I'll take that. So it'll be, there are a couple games that you'll obviously watch with vested interest, a couple that you'll be a neutral for. But if we don't get to play again for 2 weeks, and we're coming off a loss, they let us down easy. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys beat Paraguay, and hopefully you shit the bed against us. Hopefully, though, any Australians who are in Seattle doing the whole trip, enjoy the Pacific Northwest, especially in the summertime. It is a magical place. Have fun, and I don't have much else of a parting message, but I think we showed tonight. We showed tonight we can compete with anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not. We didn't even play all that well tonight. We can compete.
Disappointing, but I'm not shaken by this like I am by some other losses. So
no, not at all.
And there's probably a few other players that we've not really celebrated too, probably like we could. And I can see one there from like Caleb Reese cites Ollie Henry in there. Like I think we probably slept on Ollie Henry a little bit there, who did some really great things too.
My
Obviously, we
favorite
spoke about that one goal, but
my favorite singular moment tonight was that goal. That was the sort of hustle we had not seen from him in past years.
Yeah.
For him to go and force the turnover to begin with, then set up the goal itself by getting into the forward 50. That was awesome. And one of the unsung positives of this team has been Ollie Henry just bringing it and playing with consistency. Jake Grover says sack Nick Foote. Nick Foote was only the second worst umpire tonight. It's still Jacob Mollison.
Not going to let him off the hook. That's fair.
Nope. The only one that's worse is Roseberry. Nathan Williamson, you're not exempt either, but all right, let's grow from this. I think this is a good way to go into the bye. Let's come out of the bye better than we have a lot of years.
Let's just come out of the bye and chain the next, what's that going to be? 8 back-to-back wins and continue to surge into finals.
Let's do it. Let's never lose again. Why not?
That's a good perspective to have. Let's see how it goes. All right, mate. Thank you very much for jumping on board. We'll get to chat again in 2 weeks. Another Thursday night game. So,
and I believe that one I will also be not at home. I will be in Kansas City.
Just getting around at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you still looking at coming down? I believe I know there was talk a while back that you were potentially looking.
It's going to be next year. It didn't really line up this year with the way the fixtures went.
Is what it is. That's right.
Yeah.
It's still always good to have you in the streams, and it'll be good to have you back in 2027 then.
Yes. I'm trying to make at least every other year the standard.
Nice. It's not a small commute, so I get that.
No, it is not. That's something that you can't just do on a budget. Like, no, you need to shell out for the premium economy. I'm not doing, 17-hour flights squished into a seat like this. I can do cross country like that. I cannot do cross world like
that. Ethan's really just sitting in first for all these flights.
Oh no, premium economy is the only thing I'll shell out. I do not have business class money, but premium economy for a flight of that length is a necessary splurge.
It's manageable. Nice.
All right,
mate.
To the World
Thanks
Cup.
for coming on board. Looking forward to chatting soon. And I don't say it too sincerely, but good luck in the game against the Aussies in I don't know, what are we now? A bit over 24 hours. Ben's flipping you off in the background from the green room. That's how that's how sincere he feels about
I love
any well wishes he might extend. But it's a good, fun bit of competition for the next 24, 48 hours.
All right, see you guys. Thanks again.
All right,
Go
enjoy.
Caps.
I'll see you later. All right. Before we bring Ben in, he's been busy preparing some graphics behind the scenes. We'll start with the first one here related to Jake College, hasn't he? Come on. Cooked. He's also prepared one here about Jed Buse. Just trapped in the cage. I'm not sure about the cheese, but this is Ben with his AI stuff. So anyway, is what it is. Let's get the man in question in anyway. Let me get rid of that. Let's find the Ben Reeve layout and bring him in. How are you feeling, mate?
I'm feeling, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I expected a loss, but then I got excited, expected a win, and then I expected a loss. And then we got within a few.
Pulled out a win, yeah.
And then we nearly pulled out a win. So my head, you know me pretty well, Paul. You know I'm all over the shop. So tonight was probably one of those games that doesn't help my personality. So yeah, absolutely all over the shop. And I wasn't seeing clearly. Everyone's showing a lot of love for Tanner. I'm completely at the opposite end of that. But
really? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like his disposal efficiency, he was still rolling at about 65%, but they weren't critical errors. And even one of his errors resulted in an Ollie Henry goal. Like I was not delighted. Like I wasn't thinking it was the best game. He played a blinder, but I was pretty happy with his performance on the night.
Yeah, I mean, these ones are a little bit hard to judge, and I will concede that a bloke gets 26, 27 touches, you're more likely to be seen to be turning it over more than a bloke that gets his hands on it 5 times in the game. So it looks as though you're butchering it more than
5 turnovers, 4 clangers for Tanner Bruin on the night. So of those 5 turnovers, 4 clangers. So it's not they're not ugly numbers.
Anyway, I won't spend the whole night talking about Tanner, other than just to say, I just felt like he was just spinning around in circles at times and just handballing it to teammates that were under pressure, and it just didn't feel like any of his disposals, bar from a few, really drove Geelong forward. I just don't feel like he's the right guy for the way that Geelong's trying to build this team. I don't feel like it's. I mean, I know we're giving him every opportunity because he's missed a year of footy, but
Chris Scott was pretty happy with him apparently.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, anyway, that's just me. Maybe I'll watch it again if I get a chance, and I'll come back and I'll
don't volunteer
apologize.
yourself. You got 2 weeks off now from watching the Cats.
I've got plenty of time.
Don't inflict another loss on yourself. Go find a win to go rewatch.
No, I'm about to
do that.
I'm about to watch the Knicks parade after this at about midnight. I think that kicks off at.
Oh, really? Are they? Okay.
Yeah, apparently I don't know if it's on the NBA channel, but anyway, we talked enough about the NBA on the tipping show last night.
Let's talk George then. We've been prompted to go down that path. Talk George. Obviously, Ethan and I had a bit of a chat about him already. Talk George.
Now Jake's not on Postgame Live but Jake, not friend of the show, co-host of the channel, was commenting, and I was listening quite closely to what he was saying. George looks great when he's got the ball, and George can do some really good things when we've got the ball. But when we don't have the ball, it's a bit obvious that he's lacking quite significantly in his defensive skills. So there's still a bit to work on there, but I'm a little bit concerned, Paul, that I feel like maybe George is going to make way, and is he going to have a chance to come back again? Because what is he, 3rd year now on the list, and a rookie?
Yeah, 3rd year on the list and rookie. Look, I mean, I think the fact that he's getting these opportunities signals that like how close he is in the minds of the coaches. And I think like I don't think Jake's point is wrong, and Ethan and I kind of discussed it a little bit earlier on that but the blokes he was getting left behind by the likes of oh my god, I've just gone blank on his name, Caleb Sarong and co, who like this is the cream of the crop. Yeah. These are the sorts of blokes that he is aspiring to be like. So I think, and you know, I don't know that we're seeing those same sorts of flaws when he's in the VFL. So I think he's just learning the lessons about what it takes to be a top flight player at this level. And he'll get that learn those lessons and take that feedback. He's also trying to play at the bottom of the contest, and so that it does run the risk, especially when like his athleticism is improved. No doubt about it. He's trimmed down and he's better, but he's not an athlete like a lot of the other guys out there. So he can get. There's the risk that he'll get left behind on occasions.
I'll say one thing that made me smile. He kicked that goal, which was great, and all his teammates got around him, and he was like, "Oh, come on!" He's up and about, and then he's like, "Well, hang on, don't get too excited," and then he just went like completely flat after that. Come on, let's get back to it.
Serious business again.
Serious George all over again. That was quite funny. I enjoyed that. Look, I hope he gets opportunities because Lord knows a lot of his teammates have had more than enough opportunities over the years, and they've eventually come good. So, he was definitely harder at the ball. Yeah. I agree with that, and he had a crack. And you can have 25s, 26 touches and have a crack and just not use it that well, but at least you're having a crack, and I guess that's probably more than what a lot of other players do. In saying that, I was thinking to myself at 3/4 time and probably partway through the 4th, if Geelong wins this game, I'll come on and I'll just be singing the praises of about 20 of the 22 players, or 23, whatever how many there are these days. Everyone's a hero. No one made a mistake all night long, but you lose a game by 10 points, and it always feels like the opposite. Everyone's let the team down.
You said 20 of the 23, though. So who are the 3 who wouldn't be saved no matter what? Jake Kolodjasny and who else?
Well, Jake's on the barbecue. He's well done at the moment, and
he just had no idea.
No idea.
Absolutely no idea.
Do you know what? This is really hard for me to say this, and I don't want to be I don't want to be the bloke that comes on and whinges about players, but proceeds to come on and whinge about players. So forgive me, everyone. I sound like an absolute.
I don't know. We're being asked to keep talking about Jake Kolodjasny, so
all right, we'll talk about Kate, but let me talk about another player first, and I want to hear your thoughts on this guy, Paul. How do you reckon Zach Guthrie's travelling?
At about 60% of his best.
Yeah, I know he didn't have the best preseason. I think he was coming from a little way back, but he's really, apart from a few games this year, I think he's really struggled to put it together. And it was just quite a few times tonight where he really just missed the kick. Or and I don't blame any of the defenders for what was going on inside the defensive 50 tonight, because it was just coming in so fast and so crisp. I think it's pretty hard for anyone.
54 inside 50s to 44 tonight.
And did they break a record, Freo, for the amount of marks inside 50? It felt bloody well like it. Like every time it went forward, they took a mark, and sometimes they took two marks.
20. They did take 20, which is well above their average of 13.5. We were 11 down from our average of 13.1. Yeah. I doubt 20s, especially when I suppose it depends on how far back we're going to keep that particular stat. I feel like there'd be plenty of games through the 90s where there would have been more than 20, but...
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking, probably the 90s is where it's at. Now, Paul, I am wearing the Wear It purple. I've changed teams after that loss, so I'm on the Freo bandwagon now till the end of the year. I'm all
to be clear, people, that's not what the Wear It purple thing is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I do wear this for work 1 or 2 times a year. So, but just for this evening, I am wearing it. And look, I think Freo. Yeah, well, if your team can't make it.
Sticks. You cannot turn Collar's disgusting performance into a thing about Bucks. His decision making is abysmal. His time it takes for him to make a decision is deplorable. And tonight he just had no idea what was going on around him. That wasn't Nathan Buckley. That was a Jake Collar-Jasny masterclass in awful football.
Can we go through some of the incidents? So we had inability in probably 100 times that I've seen of Jake Collar-Jasny, inability to punch the ball over the line 1 meter out from goal. It's just not possible.
Asava sends his love.
Asava sends his love at the other end of the ground, but you just cannot punch the ball.
There was a couple of those that Asava failed to deliver. Remember, in the one up the other end of the ground, Asava
that's what I'm talking about.
He shouldn't have.
It's like... Hawkins is like, what are you doing, mate? But no, Collar-Jasny does that all the time. He cannot get it over the line. Unfortunately, the ball just landed funny, and he got hidden he started hiding behind the goalpost for some.
If he killed it, if he absolutely killed it, he bludgeoned the thing. That wouldn't have happened.
And and if we're not punching it back into play, we're punching it over the boundary line, so it's a ball up, so they get another chance at a contest, a throw in. Sorry, another chance. So. Maybe I'm looking into that too much. Maybe Geelong's not that bad, but it just, to my eye, it just seems like we stuff that up all the time. Look, I want to say some positive things. I think Danger's starting to turn the corner. Obviously, some of his kicks were not great, but he's clearly looking a much improved player than what he was 6 or 7 weeks ago. So that's encouraging. And I'd love to say, great, we've got Danger back in the midfield, but you've got issues with Jezza now, so I feel like we've got a few problems to try and come up with answers for, Paul. And I really don't know what we're going to do with the Jezza situation, but it is pleasing to see that Danger's maybe starting to turn the corner a little bit and coming good.
I think Jezza. Ethan and I didn't really dive into the Jezza situation. Couple of weeks off will be good for him, but the reality is it seems like the understanding that most of us have is that he's fine most of the time. But if he happens to cop a blow to that arm, he's in all sorts.
Yep.
And so you just never know when that's going to happen. He could get lucky and have a complete clean run from here to the end of the season. I'm sure they'll spend a bit of time in these 2 weeks off looking at how can we strengthen this up? How can we protect him more? How can we, whatever. But we're not going to drop. We're not going to drop him. We're not going to put him into for an operation at this point of the year. We're going to try and ride this one out.
Yeah.
So, what do we do with him? Is it deep goal square? Yeah,
but can he win a 1-on-1?
He just needs to bring it to ground, because if he gets it to ground, he'll beat his opponent from there, or he'll have the Ollie Wiltshires, the Paddy Dangerfields, the Tyson Stengels, the Brian Myerses of the world, whoever it is, whatever combinations we've got in there, they'll come into it. And that's fine. But if he ends up being one out, all he needs to do is bring that ball to ground. And I think he's still capable of that.
Yeah, I do like to
Which
see him.
arm is the broken one? I've lost. Like, is it his left or is his
His
right?
right arm. Yeah.
So like he just needs to make sure he's on the right side of any contest so that he's able to lead with that left arm, bring the ball to ground,
yeah.
and then get busy.
I mean, it's a good thing he's such a talented player because anyone else that was going,
he could have had 3 despite really struggling
Yeah.
tonight anyway. So
anyone else would just be like, no, mate. If you know where he's 50%, he's going at about 50%. And as what happens,
winning the Coleman despite all of it
somehow. So yeah, we got to remember that too. He's still. I mean, what does that say about the rest of the key forwards in the comp? But as what happens is when he cops that hit on the arm, which is inevitable at some stage during the game, he basically disappears for the rest of the game. How many touches did he get in the fourth quarter? He had about as many donuts as what Shadu had tonight. I don't know if you're following that on the Discord.
No, I missed that.
Shadu was eyeing up about 4 different donuts, and Jezza had a big one. She's trying to figure out which one she should have if we got the win.
Let me see if I can find Jeremy Cameron's Q4. Oh yeah, no donuts across the board.
So yeah, he's copped the hit and then just nothing after that. So
to be fair, he did cop the hit in the second quarter. He had 6 out of his 7 disposals for the night were in the second and third quarter. He stunk it up in the first and stunk it up in the last. So
yeah, you're getting Jezza at 50% and then half the game he's not involved. So look, he's a star, and I mean most coaches in the AFL would probably still play a 50% Jezza. So I mean I think we back out.
We've got to play him.
We've got to back our coaches.
We're done without him because we don't have another big key forward to play there outside of Scratch, of course.
And what's really obvious, Paul, is that Shannon Neal's getting double and triple teamed when they know that Jezza's is just not going to have any impact. So let's just ignore Jezza. So we'll trust our guys to control the game, and hopefully it doesn't get to Jezza in the areas that Jezza wants it to get to. But unless they're serving it up to him on his chest, lace out, then. We're not going to see those sort of miraculous type of things and those big hangers and the tackles. It's just it is what it is. But
I think Jack Henry could play a part in unlocking him. And we obviously flicked Jack back into the forward line late when we were trying to pinch it, and he did a great job there. One that I want to discuss with you and spin up some ideas with is Mark Blitzarves, and I wasn't frustrated with his performance tonight. I think he's still, and he's been so good at playing lots of different roles, but I feel like he's a bit lost and lacking role clarity at the moment. I wonder if it's not worthwhile, while Jack is going forward,
go for it. Oh, no.
While Collar is stinking it up, can we? And maybe tonight is a harder one because Mitch probably needed a bit of extra support, and maybe Blitz in the midfield as a ruckman might have been more helpful tonight in this particular instance. But can we just send Blitz back to play his key defensive role? The one that he dominated in that 2018, 2016, no, when was it? Like 2017 through 2020, 2021 period. Like I think he would be that, like, a fantastic third tall.
Yep.
Get Collar out, put Jack in the forward line to support Jezza, because you can't ignore Jack. He's proving that repeatedly. Eases the load to get on Jezza a little bit. Blitz has a bit of extra role clarity, can do some really good things. I wonder if Blitz back to key defenses is a move that could be pretty helpful for us.
Two things. I don't actually mind the Jack Henry up forward, because if he stuffs it up, then whatever. The ball comes out. Okay, cool. No big deal. But too often lately we're seeing him stuff it up down back, and it's so costly. It's basically, it's just some horrible turnovers that we're seeing from the foreskin.
Big fella also asked, when was the last time that Grind kicked a goal? Big fella, it was the prelim final against Hawthorn.
Yeah, so Grind's not had the best year, but that's okay. But look, I don't mind the idea of Blitz going back. It would obviously be a very brave decision to almost kind of to reinvent the backline on the run halfway through.
But is it?
Well, no, it is.
We're talking about taking a key defender out who clearly can't do it at the moment.
Yeah,
and just putting one back in who's not necessarily flying, but I think absolutely he reads the game a lot better than Collar.
It's not reinventing the wheel, But as you hear Chris Scott talk about this all the time, the game changes like every 4 weeks. Like it's completely different 4 weeks or 4 weeks ago than what it was when he was a recognised defender. So, yeah. Look, we could just insert Blitz down back again. And look, it'd probably make it work, to be honest. I don't disagree with you at all. But I was going to say, Paul, just as a little more of a joke than anything else,
I'm making a video on this.
Has he won
It's giving me the idea. I'm doing a video on this week.
Has he won an All-Australian as a key forward? Can we give that a shot? If Jez is just not up to it, is that something that you would consider? No. If you wouldn't even consider,
that means he has to have shots on goal. I don't want that.
That's all right. If that's his job, then train that. Go away because the bloke actually just works his ass off to get to work on his skills and he'd figure it out. I trust the bloke. I reckon he'd turn into
a machine.
I reckon he'd go at 90% if he actually committed himself to being a good goal kicker. But I
just don't love the idea of giving him a new role at this point of his career.
I think it'd be a great story. Give him another role and let him let him kick 6 goals and win the Coleman medal. As we come over the top of Freo at three-quarter time to win by 15 points in the granny, that'd be great. There you go. You heard it here first. Blitzarves, 6 goals in the granny and Coleman medal. Done. Lock that one in, everyone. Get your bets in early. Look, Blitzarves, let's throw him down back. I don't think it's really... I think we need a bit of support down there, especially with DK, just hardly spending any time in there, and we're swinging Jack Henry forward every other minute anyway. So it might be time to sort of come up with a solution for Jez. If we choose to keep playing him, that is. I think we just can't rely on Jezza to be the go-to guy because poor old Shannon is as I said, he's getting double-teamed, triple-teamed, and he's a confidence player, and he's absolutely going to get shot mentally and emotionally.
He's doing all he can to keep himself up and about. The big fist pumps and those sort of things was...
He's trying. And I love him.
Yeah.
But he's going to be frustrating to watch unless you can appreciate that he's copping all the attention at the moment when that's not normally what he's used to, because we've had an absolute superstar, one of the all-timers, in Jeremy Cameron, pretty much being the main guy in that forward line, and all of a sudden you expect Shannon Neal to be that guy. It's probably unrealistic to expect that. So at least for now, he's probably a couple of years away. Hawkins probably took 5 or 6 years to find his way, and then it was only 10 years in that he really sort of started to.
Final 5 years, and then he really exploded. Big fella links Lockie Ash to us, which is not something that not something I've heard. In any
How's
way.
that happening?
I don't know if that's him just going, hey, this is the sort of bloke that we need. But
cool. Do a video.
We wouldn't complain with a player like that. No, we've got a
source.
Who did I see getting linked to us the other day?
Toby won.
No, so obviously Toby's already been discussed. We just got added to a list of names to a group of clubs that were already pursuing someone.
Have you seen Reservoir Dogs? The opening scene of Reservoir Dogs.
I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs. Oh yeah, that's right. We somehow got linked to Logan Morris.
How's that happening? All right, if we get Logan Morris, we're set.
A Logan and scratch forward line for the next 15 years. Good shit.
I remember trying to get Ollie Lord a few years ago, and he can fuck off now. I don't want to know about him.
No, let's pass.
Cadman, when are we getting Cadman? When's he coming? Is that a couple of years away? Surely.
He's got a contract to like 28 or something like that.
Surely.
But you're not trying to draft anyone extra now. We've already got our players there. I don't know. I'm so lost as to how to support Jezza outside of, I think, this Blitzarves to defense to unlock Jack idea.
Maybe there is no answer. Maybe it is just what it is, and
if he can make it work, he makes it work.
If we can make it work, I don't think there's a magic solution. Either we.
It is a good point. Like, and to be fair, and has been rightly said by commentators and a few of us tonight, we could have and should have lost by more.
100%.
But if we get simplistic,
we
lost by 9. Collar cost us 2.
Yep.
We went far away from our home deck.
Honourable. I didn't want to have to say
Wilson's
honourable.
Another one, big fella's linking to us, but I've already done a video there.
Yeah, but you haven't done the you didn't do your report card because you went to the footy, the Auskick thing.
I did. I did. I watched both Toby Green and Darcy Wilson in action the other day, and holy shit, Darcy Wilson is something else. He is such a good, and Toby was looking real good too.
Yep. Toby Green.
Toby Green.
If you've seen Reservoir Dogs, if you know the opening scene, anyone in the chat, give me some support. There is a scene where they're talking about this person called Toby, and the guy just kept saying Toby, Toby, Toby all the time. Anyway, I'll move on. Ollie Dempsey was good. Couple of names I'll throw at you. Ollie Dempsey, Connor O'Sullivan.
Yep.
Is he Connor O'Sullivan? Is he in our top 5 now?
Plays the club, absolutely.
I think he is. I think he is now. I was umming and ahhing about it tonight. Like, yeah, he's definitely top 10, but I don't know if is he pushing Tom Stewart out?
Chaps just jumping in here to share some thoughts.
Oh, hello. Plays 12 games. Yeah, very good. Thanks. I assume that's Jake.
just a hint of sarcasm from presumably Jake there along the way, but Mitch is developing nicely.
We love Mitch.
Yes, he learnt a few lessons tonight, but he is developing nicely.
He does have that Tom Hawkins trait where he loves giving away a silly free kick. But he's a little fella up against an absolute star ruckman, and he's doing his best to compete, and that'll happen. But yeah, he does sometimes make silly mistakes and throw his hands in the air and goes, "What? What was that for?" It happens. It is what it is. But anyway, ruckman, they're not the smartest people in the world. But he's good. I thought Sam DeConning was pretty interesting. When you guys you and Ethan were talking about the player ratings, I'm like,
BOG, right?
Surely that was back to front when they had Sam DeConning near the bottom and who was the other guy near the top? Like, you're kidding me, aren't you? Like, no.
Scratch was the top ranked player on the ground.
Nah, there's no chance. There's no chance. If anything,
according to whatever he was looking at.
I don't think SDK was either, but it was the other way around.
I thought he was our best, but the way I understood what Ethan said is that Scratch was not just our best, but the best.
No chance.
That's what he was saying. But that's how I interpret what he read. But he was looking at data.
Someone's having a laugh. There was a moment though. I'll see if I can remind you of this one. SDK was got beaten, I think, and I don't know if it was exactly around this time, but anyway, he's got the ball. He's feigned. He's sort of dodged around someone, and then he's given off the softest little handball to one of his teammate running past. And I was like, oh, that was just gorgeous. It was probably the best thing I've ever seen.
It was to Ollie, who then flipped it over his head, and some good stuff.
I reckon that's actually the best thing I've ever seen him do on a footy field. It just looked incredible.
Nice bit of poise.
It was incredible. He does have the softest hands going around. He's got really good hand skills. Gets a little bit, makes some silly decisions every now and then, but his skills are good.
Jake's just where's the link to jump into the StreamYard, fuckers?
Jump in.
Jake, if you want to jump in, you've got access to the platform that we use, Jake. Just jump in.
Jump in. I shall send it to you directly, Jake. How's that sound? Via the SMS machine, which is also my mobile phone. If that works for you, unless you can figure out how to get into it quicker. Where are you, Jake? You're buried down the bottom. I mustn't be talking to you much lately. There you go. Done.
That or he's trying to prompt us to share it for everyone. So if you do want to jump in, currently the green room is empty. So, which again, we probably expected a quieter night tonight. It's a late one. It's a Thursday night. People are going to go.
It's a Thursday.
Tomorrow. Oh, here we go. Yep. Telstra Man's just popped in. Oh.
Lucas just kicked me from the stream.
I hope you can be more supportive. I don't know. You like to antagonize a little bit there, Telstra Man. We'll have to see.
I'll get Telstra. Join the chat. I mean, you know where the link is. Oh, here we go. Get rid of the overlay.
Jake has jumped in.
Get rid of the overlay.
Waiting for his camera to come alive. There he is. Hang on. Let's just get the three of us to. Oh, there we go. Ben's already doing it.
Too quick, Jakey boy.
Far away, Jake.
How are we, lads?
Good.
Very rare post-game live cameo from Jake. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm one of the young people now, up nearly to midnight. What's going on?
You not working tomorrow?
No, I'm not actually, which is nice.
There it is. It is.
Nice. I gave you a mention earlier.
It's a report writing day.
Yeah, sure it is. And kids, we did have a loss, and it was an honourable loss. So Paul's probably going to go easy on the report writing, but Jake, I mentioned your name
I
before.
finished them last night, so I can sleep at my desk.
Good. I mentioned you before, Jake, because we were talking about George Stevens, and I was seeing your comments in the Discord about his defensive side of his game. Can you maybe elaborate on that for those that maybe don't watch the VFL as much as what you do?
Yeah, more of the same. Like I thought, like it's not to be down on him. Like I thought there was stuff he did really well tonight, but it's the stuff that we've seen him do really well for like 3 years. Like that's never been my issue. Like I think sometimes people think I'm being really negative on him, but that's not the case. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's a player I hope makes the jump. I'm really glad we're getting to see him. Unlike the whole Mitch Hardy thing, which is always like, oh God, if only they'd.
Oh no, you said his name. Brendan's gonna appear.
I know. It's like Beetlejuice. As long as I don't say it 3 times, we've just said it the once. Yeah, I think it's that sort of thing for me, where it's like at least we're getting to see it. And the stuff he does well, he showed tonight that he does well. He's strong. He can win a clearance. I think around the stoppage, if someone gets in the reach of the snapping turtle, he'll chop you up. I think, he doesn't use the ball terribly, but there was two goals at least, and other opportunities where his man loses him around stoppages defensively. He just doesn't stay disciplined, and on his player. And the fact that he doesn't have that speed to fall back on to make up for his mistake also costs him. Like I think you saw on the weekend in the VFL, James Warple had a couple of massive stuff ups, but he was sort of able to paper over the cracks. Yeah, he's got wheels. Whereas Stevens, if he gets caught out, he's caught way, way out. And so I don't think it's like an unmendable issue. Like I think he could move past it, but I suppose the thing is, we haven't seen it yet. Like it's still happening at VFL level.
Are we going to see it? Will we have an opportunity to see it? Like, will the coaches be too quick to pull the trigger and send him back to the lower levels, and maybe being on a rookie contract like he is the end of this year if he hasn't sort of had one of those breakout games? Similar, I don't know if you call Ollie Wiltshire's game last week a breakout game. He definitely cemented his spot for a few weeks, but do you think George is going to have the luxury of a few more weeks of trying to figure it out and learning from some mistakes and building on his strengths, or is it going to go the other way with George?
I think he's certainly probably advantaged by the fact that Warple hasn't been playing brilliantly. Like I saw Warple's stats before I saw his actual play last weekend. And yeah, I think it was the right call to keep Stevens in the team. All things being even, I don't think Warple played brilliantly. Like people will look at 37 touches, but like some of the kicking and ball use was really poor. There was a lot of hack kick stuff. So I think Stevens was the right call. But like if Bailey Smith's healthy next week, once Brian Myers gets healthy, like who's going to make way? It's going to be George Stevens. So I think we're going to do an exercise in the next VFL pod, or whenever the VFL bye week is, we're going to do an exercise, Sambo and I, where we go through the list and go, would you re-sign him? Would you not re-sign him? For all these players that are in the last year of their deal. And Stevens for me right now is like a real 50-50. It's a total coin flip. I don't know. I need to see that. If it was me in the imaginary situation where I'm in charge of the list, I would need to see some area of improvement in that defensive stuff, because we know what he does well. It's just I don't think we can live with it the way we play. I don't think we can live with the downside.
No, and that's fair. Like he doesn't, obviously we spoke about, like he doesn't have the wheels, but neither did Joel Selwood. So there's no reason why if he works on that defensive aspect, like you're saying, there's no reason why he can't be a super prominent feature of our midfield for a long time to come. Now, I think the club is tipping its hand a little bit by giving him an opportunity in these last couple of games, and hopefully he gets a couple more before the season's out. I think the club's tipping their hand just a little bit. They're not trying to show their hand like we're going to re-sign him, but it shows how close he is in their mind. I think I think the players are in danger. You Mitch Nevitz and co of the world, and he might
100%.
find himself elevated off the rookie list and back onto the main list in lieu of someone like a Mitch Nevitt in the event that he gets delisted, or others get delisted.
It's also logical to play Stevens at the moment. Like if it's really close between, say, Warple and Stevens, it makes sense to play Stevens because
I agree.
you've got Warple locked up on a contract till 2029.
Yeah.
You've got to make a decision on Stevens by the end of this year. So you sort of need to see.
He's not leaving Geelong, is he? So,
and we kind of know what the ceiling is for James Warple, whereas there's still a lot of ceiling potentially ahead for George. So yeah, I think there's that part of it as well. And I think like my hope is honestly, and someone flagged it earlier on in the chat, was hopefully this is a 5 to 6 week block for George. Whether it ends up being 5 or 6, I don't know, but I do hope that he got schooled once or twice by Caleb Sarong tonight. There was one that resulted directly in a Caleb Sarong goal where he just sharked it perfectly from the contest, and George was very flat-footed. It wasn't even that he got burnt; he just didn't take off. Like he just got lost. He lost him in the contest entirely. And I hope that he gets he'll sit and watch the tapes this week, and he'll get the feedback. And you learned a lesson from one of the best players in the game. Now take that lesson. You're playing Brisbane in 2 weeks. You're going to get another crack at it. Show us that you've learned something from it.
That's the test, isn't it? Like, and really, with a lot of these players, when they've had 3 or 4 games under their belt, like, can you show us that you're learning stuff? Are you figuring out? Are you adapting? Are you making those little adjustments? Or, because I imagine some players just, but they just can't get it, or they won't, or they don't understand, or they just, unfortunately, some players, bad luck gets them as well, and they get an injury, and then they're out of the door, and they don't get those opportunities. But hopefully that's not the case with George. I'd like to think there's a world in which George Stevens actually becomes a regular AFL player, whether it's with us or with someone else. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I think he's definitely got it in him. But Jake, I mean,
I think that component that Jake's talking about is the one. The one X against his game right now. Like there was a lot of ticks from tonight. Like I was still, if we just look at all the components, I would say there's more ticks than crosses against his name tonight. But the crosses were pretty significant crosses. Well, they resulted in pretty significant scoreboard impact for Freo.
Yeah, it's cruel, but not all ticks and not all crosses are like created evenly.
No.
You know what I mean? There's just some things you can live more, and it totally depends on the system. There might be other systems that teams around the league play. It's like, oh yeah, we could live with that thing for George Stevens, or I just think for us that like it's one of the things we talk about most is like speed, ground coverage, red time running. Like that is the message you hear when anyone talks about Geelong's game style. And it's like, that is the biggest aspect of his play that he doesn't have. Like I said, I really hope that he does find a way to stay in the team and that because if he does, he'll have earned it on the merits of his performance. That's the thing. If he gets a bunch of games at the Cats, it means he's changed the things. If he doesn't change the things, he won't keep getting picked. It's a simple equation.
He's got Brisbane next. If he gets picked for a 3rd game in a row, it's pretty much say what you want about Brisbane. They've lost their way a little bit, but they are the measuring stick for pretty much every club still in my mind. So that'll be a massive test for him if he does play, and if he goes well in that game, then I'll have a lot more confidence in him. But I don't feel like he'll get picked for that one, sadly.
The opportunity's there. Like you mentioned that Bailey Smith's got to come back, but Jack Bowes is also on the fringe just as George is. There's no reason why it couldn't be him. Or and there's others that could potentially be in that same sort of conversation as well. So
can I ask? There. Sorry, Paul. I want to ask Jake just because we never get Jake on just after a show. I know there's a lot of people that. There's a lot more people now starting to watch the twos than what they one of our other programs called the twos than maybe did at the start of the year. And well done, Jake, on your recent video about Stengel. But there's a lot of people that probably want to know how Polkinghorn's going. We know he's had some injuries of recent times, but what are your thoughts on his development? Are you optimistic that he's going in the right direction? Do you see him possibly not having a debut this year, but do you feel like he's not far off it?
I think he could have a debut this year because I think I look at those last 3 games of the season where we've got, I'm trying to think of the order, is it Essendon, North, and Richmond to finish out the year?
That sounds about right.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of those games that, Jeremy Cameron gets a rest or Danger gets a rest, whatever it might be in that forward line. I think he's good. Like, I think he's tracking really nicely, Polkinghorne, apart from the injuries, obviously. But to kick 30-plus goals in your rookie year last season.
Yeah.
And then the thing I love about him, and he actually came up in conversation tonight. I was watching the game with Sambo and Johnny and our mate Jacko, and something that came up in the conversation was once it was pretty clear that Jeremy Cameron, is still not in rip-roaring shape. Like, he just doesn't trust that arm. I think it's obvious that he's not able to tackle. He's not willing to tackle. And I like, that's nothing against him. But the thing that flashed, so Polkinghorne came back 2 weeks ago when Geelong played Sandringham. Really physical game. Sandringham came out like really wanting to yuck up the match, which they did for the whole first half. Polkinghorne could not take a mark. They wore him like a glove. But he worked his way into the game with his tackling. So he's, 190 whatever centimeters. But he can move and he's defensive. Like, his first goal of the day came, he tackled a defender in the pocket, won a holding the ball, went back, snapped the goal.
Yeah.
I think it was about 10 minutes later, Sandringham have a free kick in the middle of the ground, bloke plays on, and from out of frame, Polkinghorne runs in and runs him down in the middle of the ground and wins another holding the ball free. I think he had 4 or 5 tackles in his game on return. So even in days where he's not marking the ball well, he's got other ways to bring himself into the game. And realistically, that's probably what we're lacking a little bit from Jez this year. And he's not going to kick the goals that Jez will. But, yeah, in terms of how he's tracking, I think he's tracking really, really well. And I think he could bump someone like even like a Jack Martin potentially.
Yeah, that's probably the best one. Yeah, that might be the best one, actually, if Jack loses his way a bit.
I will say that I did notice Jack grabbing at the hamstring in the last minute of the game.
Another one in the last minute. That's where we get the injuries these days.
One to watch just going into the game 2 weeks from now. Separate to the Jay Polkinghorne conversation, but just something I noticed at the end there.
I'm glad you talked about his tackling, Jake, because it's the one thing I noticed about Polkinghorne in preseason. He laid a massive tackle on Jack Henry on the boundary. And I'm like, Jack Henry, if you've seen Jack Henry up close, he's not a little fella. He's a big boy. And Polkinghorne absolutely smashed him. And I'm thinking, oh, good, this is great. Because Polkinghorne didn't seem to have a lot of size about him, but he seems to be one of those strong boys that maybe he's not huge, but he's got a lot of power. So another preseason, another 6 months in the gym, hopefully, doing things the right way and not sort of overdoing and getting injuries, because that's the main thing with Polk. We want him out on the field. We want him to hurt himself. And I think get some more Ks into those legs, because fitness for me, and you're a better judge of AFL than I am, Jake, but first year it seemed to be just couldn't get to as many contests as probably what he wanted to. And this year he seems to be having a bit more of an impact and willing himself into the contest. But hopefully third year we get to see the AFL, well, almost AFL ready Polkinghorne. I hope anyway.
Yeah, he was averaging 2.5 tackles per game last year.
They're good numbers.
Kicking 30 goals, like, that's pretty good. I think he's at 1.7 this year, but he's missed a bit of footy and that sort of thing. And like I said, against Sandringham, he really cracked in. So I just see this comment from Python Darts 180. So we help. It's not a camera, Python. It's my internet. I live in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere. So yeah, I'm broadcasting to you live, Dagestan.
You're 10 Ks from absolutely fucking nowhere. You're even further away. You couldn't be any further away. So I'm surprised the internet works at all. You've done pretty well. So but like, as I said, everyone, check out the 2 stuff, because that's absolutely, congratulations to you, Jake. It's absolutely flying. It's flying. It absolutely is going crazy. And I think, and I know that, not having a crack at the club at all, but there's just not a lot of VFL content out there for anyone. And this half of our team these young guys that are coming through, and even some of the older boys that you sort of hope that'll find their way back, like a Jed Buse or others. It's just really good to see how they're going, and just getting the odd little article on a website every now and then. It's just not really cutting it for me. So I'm really loving your analysis and some of the stuff you're doing with Sam as well. So really appreciate it.
Cheers. Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing it. It's nice to know there's a bunch of sickos who enjoy it like we do. So yeah, I just want to respond to Sticks Zadinia in the chat. We were going back and forth about Mitch Edwards too earlier. Said I was coping hard with the fact he got destroyed. Yeah, absolutely, Sticks. Like I'm taking the mickey with my comment about the 12 games versus 132 in the sense that yeah, he didn't have a great night. He did get bullied around, but at the end of the day, my preseason expectations for Mitch Edwards was to get through a VFL season healthy. I had no expectation of him playing any AFL footy this year. So like everything
he's blown way past your expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I discussed him in the preseason. I think maybe we were all together. I can't remember now, but like I expected him to get up and play a few games this year. I expected him to be sharing it with Reece Stanley a little bit to kind of ease him into the level. But he's really been thrown in the deep end and has had some blinders against some really great ruckmen. The game that continues to stick in mind is the way he towed up Brodie Grundy back in the game against Sydney. Gave him an absolute bath. Like we can see what that potential is. And right now he's still building the tank and learning the craft. And he also tackled probably the most informed ruckman of the competition right now.
Oh, no one's going to have any luck against Luke Jackson. He's a freak. He's a star. I hope he actually goes deep in the Brownlow this year, Luke Jackson. If Bailey or Holmes can't win it, I hope someone I hope we give it to a ruckman for once. He's an absolute champion, that guy, and there was nothing we could do tonight. And
another bloody midfielder winning it.
No more midfielders, please. Can we give it to a forward?
I'm bundling him in there. He plays in the midfield, doesn't he? Another bloody midfielder winning.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We said that tonight as well. Just watching it, it was like, geez, they got another midfielder. He's getting the handball receives. Like normally, you don't give a handball to a ruckman, do you?
Not to a ruckman,
unless you're absolutely desperate and you just scream out, "Kick it long, Reece." That's what I just say, Reece. Just get it on long, mate. Don't overthink it. Just get it deep.
And to be fair to Edwards too, just in case people weren't aware, it's not like he's been like grinding away in the VFL. I think he'd played 10 VFL games for the Cats in like 2 years or something before this year. So
yeah,
like he hasn't had a lot of sort of time on ground, even at the twos level. So like it's pretty amazing what he's been able to do, just chucked in the deep end. So yeah,
interesting.
To Yako's comment here, I think we've and to link in with what you were saying, I think we absolutely have our genuine ruckman. He just needs time to cook. Let him cook, people.
It's called Toby Conway.
But as long as he's not cooked like Collar.
That was nasty of me. Sorry, Collar, or Collar's family or friends or whatever that might be pissed off at that. It's just a joke. But Paul makes fun of me more than we make fun of Collar, doesn't he? So is there speaking of food, is there a missing ingredient, Jake or Paul? I'll put it to both of you that we need to actually take us from a team that's probably going to finish somewhere in the top 6. I think, is that fair to say? We may or may not finish top 4, but I feel reasonably confident we're a top 6 team. But is there something that we can do? And Paul had the idea to send Blitzers back into defence. Have you got any thoughts, Jake, on what we need to do that could, something even a little bit out of left field that might just sort of swing it in our favour? Or do you defer to the genius that is Chris Scott?
I always defer to the genius that is Chris Scott, but I would just say that, I was so impressed with this evening. Honestly, to be missing what we were missing. I think they're 3 really crucial players in terms of Myers, Stewart, and Smith.
Yeah.
But then throw in Tyson Stengel, an all-Australian small forward. I think those, and again, you add on to that, playing the ruckman that we're playing. Is there one thing we could do? No, I don't think there is one thing. I think we're doing the thing, and that's following the process of rebuilding the list since 2022. We've highlighted it already. There's 11 different players in this team to the one that won the 2022 grand
crazy.
final in terms of the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Like the overhaul's been amazing. The list is quietly getting younger. There's sort of a surface of aged players in terms of like Danger, Blitz, Stanley,
Reece, yeah.
those sort of guys. Yeah, they drag the age sort of way up. But underneath that, there's a bunch of guys in their mid-20s, early 20s, a few teenagers coming through. You got Harley Barker to come into the side probably next year.
Yep.
So, like, I don't know. I think more of the same. It'll be fine. I think we're in a really good spot. I think we're in great shape to try and finish top 4, and that'd be a huge tick, given that we're blooding a heap of players in as well. Like, I don't know. I'm really happy with where we're at. But get Tyson Stengel back on the pitch. If you're going to say one thing, if I could have one wish, get Tyson Stengel back fit and firing, because, again, we talk about pressure inside 50, like locking that ball inside our attack when it comes to ground. Like, imagine if we had Stengel and Wiltshire. Like, that'd be my one thing. If I had to say one thing, let's get Stengel in for the back third of the season and fly.
Yeah, I think especially when Jez is kind of struggling with his arm and isn't able to put up much of a fight defensively, to have someone who's got that sort of tenacity, that aggression, that hunger to chase and tackle. We need someone to kind of be a bit of a foil to offset him a little bit there. So I'd agree.
Yeah, a bit of creativity, a bit of flair. Just someone who can make something happen. I mean, Ollie Henry occasionally, but more often
he's
not.
really improved. He has really improved in that part of his game. That's where he needed to fix that more than anything. He's doing a great job of it. He
still blows the odd opportunity every now and then, and probably doesn't maximise the opportunities that he creates. But that's okay. I think he'll just continue to get better and better. It'll just be a slow burn. I think it'll be a frustrating slow burn watching Ollie Henry develop, but I think he's on the right direction after a bit of a worrying year last year. Interesting point about Tyson, though. I hadn't considered. I'd actually just written it off, Jake, for the year. I didn't really think it was going to happen, and it may not, but it'd be a good story if it did, wouldn't it? If he comes in, say, round 18 or 19 or something like that, and Cats go on a 7-game winning streak and pull off a bit of a last month or last 5 weeks and go all the way. That'll be. I mean, we're dreaming, obviously, but if we can make top 4 and you've got to basically play the best footy of your life for a month, really, don't you, to win a grand final? They don't just give it to you. It only takes one game to stuff it up. Oh, thanks, Harish.
Thanks, Harish. Yeah.
How much is that? $1.60 each, I think, roughly.
Mate, we're a team of 5. That's $1.25 each.
$1.66 each.
And maybe about 80 cents after YouTube takes their cut.
But we appreciate that, Harish. Yeah.
But no, we appreciate it, mate. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page, as has, I think, the chat for the majority of the night. There's not a lot of doom and gloom here. It's disappointing. And we definitely could have lost this one by more had it not been for some inaccuracy from Freo. But I think there was a lot of positives to take away from this one. And you think about the soldiers that are there and almost ready to come back, the continued development that we're going to get into someone like a Mitch Edwards and co, and Jezza, battling on with one arm. Like, if we can get the framework, the structure of things right, like, and I said it with Ben before, like, Jezza it's just a luck thing right now. Like, if he doesn't take a blow to that arm, he's golden all game.
Yeah.
He had 8 scoring shots last week. Didn't kick a lot of them, but he had 8 scoring shots last week. He, had his opportunities again tonight. Against the most miserly defense in the competition, and he still had 3 shots with one arm. I think, like, if there's just a little bit, roll that, you get ourselves into a good spot to win a premiership takes a bit of luck. Our luck could be that Jezza just doesn't just cop those unfortunate ones, and all of a sudden we're on, because everything else is looking good. Like, we're structuring up quite well. Collar needs to go, but everything else we're structuring up quite well. I know that's harsh because we love, like, it is, but Collar 2024 Collar, I adored where he was at, and it was such a shame that he had his 2025 completely derailed, and then got off to a slow start this year as well. Like, I'm disappointed for the bloke. I don't want to be cold blooded in kind of my criticism towards him, but I going back to that suggestion I had before, I think Blitz, who's kind of been struggling for a bit of clarity around his role, throw him back into that defensive post. He knows how to work that space. That allows Jack Henry to play forward as he has been recently and as he did in the final stages of tonight's game. That frees up Jezza a little bit. That just gives him a bit of extra room to breathe. I think there's a whole range of positive consequences that can come from that particular shuffle. And it means that Collar would need to fall on the sword. But based on how he looked completely all at sea tonight, I don't think it's a bad move for team success and for some individuals as well.
We've been wrong so many times over the years as Geelong supporters. We've been wrong.
I was pretty well right about Danger. I've been saying it for 18 months. We finally flicked the switch and he's been flying in the last month.
Yeah, well, there you go. So you were right about that. But we are quick to turn on some players that are maybe having a bit of an interrupted year. Like I was having a little crack earlier on about Zach Guthrie, but I maybe checked myself a little bit and thought maybe he's just not had the best prep and he's struggling to sort of get that momentum going. But, you know, we've had cracks at other players over the years as well. So, you know, Sam DeConning, he's come good. we were down, even the coaches were down and he got dropped for a final series, but he looks pretty good these days. So I've been pretty down on Mark O'Connor, but I thought Mark O'Connor was terrific tonight.
Oh, he was great.
You know, it can be that the player will just have his best ever. I mean, College Asney's had a bit of an up and down career, if I'm being honest. Like he's at times I thought he was done, and then he bounces back and becomes a premiership player, and then kind of has a bit of a down year again the following year, and then, as you said, Paul, 2024, incredible, and then the injuries kind of knocked him around, and unfortunately that's the way it went. So, you know, I'm as much as I come on here and I just talk about whatever is on top of my mind, just whatever emotion I'm feeling at the moment, I do have to realise that, you know, it is just, you know, footy's a tough game and you're going to have your good years and your bad years, and probably shouldn't be too quick to write players off and send them to Tassie and tell them to learn.
That was a very targeted one, that one.
That was very, all that sort of stuff. Jake, you're very level-headed, and I do, every time I think about going hard on someone, I do think about what would Jake say? What would Jake say? I've got it written on my wrist a lot of the time.
Off-season tattoo idea.
Exactly. And look, we don't. I mean, Paul said it as well. Like, we love them all, like we do, and they can drive us crazy. But tell you what, I absolutely love this club. I love all the players. They kill themselves for this club, and you know, they have a red hot crack every week, and it doesn't always come off. And it nearly came off tonight. Even without three absolute stars and Bailey Smith, I thought we were going to go okay tonight. I thought the way that the game was going, I thought, oh shit, we're covering without Bailey pretty well. But that fourth quarter, I'm like, yeah, could have done with a bit of Bailey Smith in that fourth quarter, a bit of grunt.
Yeah, the pace, the intensity, the fact that he doesn't drop off, but also, and I've said it quite a bit through the review of the reaction videos and post game live this year, what he's brought to his game defensively this year has been so impressive. And like our tackle count wasn't great tonight. Our tackles, like our defensive pressure inside 50 was quite good. That's been an area that I've been quite critical of us as a club recently, but we got that part of it right, but we just couldn't kind of lay a tackle around the ground this year. It was a bit of a shame, but and because it's something he's been really strong at.
I've got Horatio in the green room. I'm going to take an opportunity, Paul, to give my 3-2-1s, and then I'm going to duck out and let Horatio and Jake end the show, if that's okay. Jake, I don't know how long you want to hang around.
I'm going to make a cuppa shortly. I just had I've got two quick points, and then I'll piss off.
Oh, you go. Yeah, you go first.
Just one. Jacob Mollier was a player that they played down back a little bit this season when he came back in against Brisbane. Sort of has been touted as a forward/ruck, but I wonder whether they're sort of going, maybe we wouldn't mind seeing how this guy goes down as an intercepting back. Very promising player, wherever they play him, if he can get healthy. And the other one's just Jesse Malor. If you don't have some stock bought in Jesse Malor yet,
Bye.
2028's the year. He'll get a little look next year, but I reckon 2028, that'll be his Ollie Dempsey 2024 season. we saw Ollie Dempsey in, I think, 2023 a little bit, but he still wasn't at the level. 2024, that spaceship took off. I reckon 2028 is the year of Jesse Malor.
Start placing your bets for the 2028 Rising Star, everyone. Jesse Mallett.
I reckon you've got a couple. I reckon you've got a couple more Jesse Mellor videos lined up, Jake, over the next few weeks about Jesse. So I'll be looking forward to.
Absolutely.
He's been unreal. He's been unreal lately.
Maybe even a Brian Myers one if he plays in the VFL this weekend. So, which I think
I've promised a Hunter Holmes video before the season's out, so I've got to deliver on that. So
yes, we'll need some Hunter action at some stage.
All right, I'll get out of here. Thanks, lads.
Thanks for coming on board, mate. Do it again soon.
I'll give you my 3-2-1s and then I'll give the floor to Horatio. Paul, I'm going to give my 3 votes to Sully. I just thought he was a rock star. I mean, he did his best. It was coming in there thick and fast pretty much all night long, but he did the best he could considering the situation, and he just looked clean and assured for the most part. So I normally don't give it to a defender when we lose a game. But I felt like I saw enough tonight to give me to make me feel like I probably deserves it, and maybe that's a couple of weeks worth of work. That it's a bit like the All Australian. You're rewarding players for a couple of good years. I'm going to give him the 3 votes just for that reason. I'm going to give 2 votes to Mark O'Connor. My votes are a little bit sort of out of the ordinary this week. Mark O'Connor for the 2. I've been down on Marco for a fair bit this year, but tonight I thought he did. He had a red hot crack, and there were a couple of moments where he showed a lot of poise and a lot of good decision making. And so I'm really, really, really happy with his performance tonight. Unfortunately, he was probably opened up a little bit the other way as well, but then everyone was really. The Freo pressure was just undeniable the whole night long. And then probably the one vote I was umming and ahhing about whether to give it to SDK or to I wanted to judge Max Holmes really harshly because he turned it over a little bit, but but he had 3 goal assists and 5 clearances and tackled, and he was probably our. Yeah, I'm gonna give Max Holmes the vote. Sorry, SDK, I'm just going to leave you in the 4th spot there, but anyway, that's where I'm at. And the if we give away a golden turd, I'm going to give it to the K-Man. I'm going to give it to the sirloin steak in front of us. Right? Sorry, I've lost my spot now. There we go. Anyway.
Well, just I'm noticing a bit of a pattern there. Like a lot of, I don't give them out to defenders when we lose, and strings a whole bunch of defenders in there for some positive votes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty rare. So just think the way that it was getting through the midfield. I mean, I don't.
Rare or well done? Which one?
Personally, I'm these days. I'm medium rare these days. But so I'm more of the Bailey Smith medium rare. Probably six or 7 seasons in. Maybe a Max Holmes, that kind of thing. But K is well done. He's always black at this point. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the hair. Maybe he just needs to sort the hair out. He won't look as old. It's starting to struggle. Anyway, I'll leave you to it, Paul. Get Horatio. And how long have we gone so far? 1 hour and 40. So
Hour 43.
Horatio, you got 3 hours left in you. I expect this will still be running.
Don't have that energy. I do still need to work tomorrow. And I've got to record the reaction after this to go live in the morning. So,
and on a bit of a sadder note, Paul, because I think it's important that Horatio's got a lot of that history and the background about some of those 90s players, and even probably further back. So I'll be keen to sort of hear some thoughts and some memories on, not that he's passed away, that we know of, but Tony Modras, obviously.
Tony Modra, yeah.
The news broke earlier tonight that he's been in a bit of an accident, a serious accident. So while we're not, he's not left us or anything, it's probably good to sort of also celebrate what he did in the game as well. So anyway, you don't have to, but I just thought I'll be listening and I'll be curious to sort of hear your thoughts on that. Anyway. That's me, Paul. I'm done.
Thanks for coming on board, mate.
Toodaloo. I'm out.
Go watch the Knicks celebrate. Stop mucking around with the layouts, mate. You reckon it all on your way out? All right.
See you, buddy.
See you, buddy. Where are we? Kick him. All right. Let's bring Horatio in. Where's the layout? There it is. Boom. Here he is. How you feeling about that one, mate?
Oh yeah, not too bad. It was a bit of an up and down sort of a night. I mean, I tipped Freo, so yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting to get belted, but I think I've been rating them quite highly for a number of weeks now, as you know, and yeah, I think they showed tonight that they're a genuine premiership outfit, a premiership contending outfit. So, yeah, I mean, apart from a little bit of the yips with their goal kicking in that second quarter, yeah, I think it was pretty clear we were up against a pretty good side in some pretty bloody good form. So, yeah. It looked as I thought we might win it for. I thought, we're a chance here, and then they. And in fact, like that was the thing when we sort of got like 4, I think what did we get out to 28 points or something
28
like
points,
that?
Yeah.
Like somebody earlier said, in the Discord said, Freo, they don't handle the pressure and all that. It's like, well, have you been watching their games this year? Because the one thing they have been doing, it's not the same. It's not the same Freo that we've seen the last 2 or 3 years. Where when
It's
it gets
not been
down
flake
to
mantle. No, they've played it well.
Yeah, when it gets down to those crunch moments, they've gone up a level. And I think I said this to you 2 or 3 weeks back, talking about them. I said, the premiership sides have that extra gear that they can go to when the rips are really cracking. The great sides and the premiership sides have that extra gear they can go to. Now, they haven't won anything yet, and they may not win it, but they have that gear this year that they can go to when and they look at each other and say, look, we've got to go up, a cog. And they did that tonight. Now, I think to our credit,
plugging away.
We put them in a position where they had to go into that gear to get the job done, and even then, they only won by not even a couple of goals. So, and I think the frustrating thing ultimately, I would say is just, they miss shots at goal and stuff like that, but God, we handed them some absolute sitters on a platter tonight. Just,
The thing that drives me mad about the Cats this season is the turnovers happen. That's a part of the game. We're not performing really any better or any worse than other clubs in that respect, but it's where they happen that is becoming increasingly problematic.
Yeah, well, I think I saw, who was it? One of the footy shows was talking about, I think during the week they were doing a breakdown of how we tend to like to structure our defense and to create turnover and things like that. Now, obviously, I think Tom Stewart has been a big part of that turnover in the back line sort of thing. So when he's out, it can kind of disrupt things a little bit. But no, I think the thing that makes it hard is that when their midfield pressure is not there, and it's been very choppy all year, and the last 4 weeks, even last week, it was better last week, but the 2 weeks before that, a lot of that defensive pressure in the midfield just has not been there, and we saw
far
it.
Too inconsistent.
We saw it multiple times tonight. They're just waltzing it out of there, and when you've got marking forwards like Fremantle does, and they look up and they see a Brayshaw and they see a Sarong and they see a Bolton just charge Murphy Reed just charging out of the middle. They know they've just got to lead up and it's going to hit them right on the tits, you know. And how many times, how many marks? 20 marks inside 50 tonight, it's just, that's just too easy. That's just giving them too many good looks at it. And, my thing with that is just that it comes from that sort of thing's got to start with your midfield pressure. If you're not getting your hands on it, then you got to make sure that they're not breaking away. And and I sort of suspect that if you go back and watch some of the, some of those contested, disputed balls all through the night, like they were just finding ways to just toe poke it out or just punch it out or tap it out or whatever. Yeah, just knowing that, just knowing that their bloke was going to be there to take it away, and that we were not going to be in a position to stop them. So I think there's obviously been a fair bit of discussion there on George Stevens and his being a bit of a defensive liability at AFL level, and and I noticed it a little bit last week, but it was quite evident tonight, particularly, and to be fair, he's playing against two of the best midfields in the comp, 2 weeks in a row. But and
it's not going to get easier if he gets a gig against Brisbane in a fortnight as well. So
no, so we're definitely giving him an opportunity to pit himself against the very best. I mean, my thing is, with guys like that, you can live with some of the defense. You can live with the defensive shortcomings if you're doing more damage going the other way. And that's not happening at this stage. So, I don't think it's, for me, I don't think it's purely a case of he's got to do this and this defensively or he's finished. He's got to find, and he did do it a little. I think the positive side of the coin for him tonight was that we did get to see some of those really incisive handballs that got blokes out and stuff like that. And if we're seeing more of that every week to get guys into damaging positions and not having, when you haven't got Baz out there and he's sort of been that guy that's getting on the end of those, being sort of a bit more of a link guy, getting on the end of that sort of stuff. I think it's just as important if we're seeing more of those kinds of plays as the defensive side of things, then I still think that there's hope in that regard. So, because there was 2 or 3 moments there tonight where I watched him and I thought, now that's what he can do, right?
Agreed.
Like a couple of really, really sharp hand passes that got us going. I thought this is what he can do. So
and just the way he uses his body as well. The one that he was held on to, he got the free kick. He took possession though in that, and then surged on. It resulted in a shot on goal from Jezza, which Jezza missed. But that one was the eye opener. Like, hang on, there we go. And the recognition is there from his opponents too. Like, you can't. I think the signs were there. I think there's lots of positive signs. I do agree still with Jake's point about, I think there's ways he can improve in that defensive thing, but all of the best midfielders, and I'm talking, the Gary Abletts of the world, they got a bath a few times early on in their career when they were learning how to handle their opponent going the other way. They're still very offensively minded players, but they need to learn how to operate defensively. And so he's got scope to learn in that regard. But then it goes back to what you said, leveraging the strengths that he brings to the table. I think there was some really good signs there in that respect, and I hope that he continues to get ongoing opportunities, or not ongoing. I don't think I'd want him in our team for a finals tilt at this point in his development. But if I'm wrong, that's only a good thing, I think. But
well, yeah,
but we're heading in the right direction.
To further your point there, I think that's the main thing, is that you can teach the defensive side of the game as long as the player is willing to learn.
Yeah.
And he's going to listen and he's going to put the work in. What you can't teach is class. And Georgie Boyhan has got a bit of class. So, that's what I'm saying, is that you start to see those touches of class a little bit more, then you can be a little bit more forgiving about,
the shortcomings.
Yeah. So, but as I say, it's a bit like, because keeping in mind, like, we've got a bloke in the twos, not necessarily midfielder, but, who we know has been working his ass off on his game, trying to work on his shortcomings, build, get himself sort of physically hardened and all that kind of thing, who's can't get into the team at the moment. Yeah. So that's the thing, is that, as long as he's willing to put in the work, then I think, then there's definitely signs there, and I sort of, I don't know, I maybe think even if we don't hang on to him, that there's somebody else would have to have a look at him, wouldn't they?
I hope that we hang on to him, but I think George Stevens will end up being a success story somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I do sincerely hope it's with us, because I can see him as, like, Axe just hasn't hit those levels again. I could just see, I don't know where he's at and kind of that exit ramp for his career, but and I'm not trying to retire the bloke. I don't think we're there yet, but we're somewhere down that road now. We're closer to the end than the start. George can step right into that.
Yeah, like I was thinking about,
with a bit more of an offensive approach too.
Yeah, and I think, like, I don't know. I mean, the thing with Axe is that, like, is he, like, based on what he did last year? He had an unbelievable year last year, but I'm sort of thinking, well, but what we got this year, this is sort of more the player he's always been. Last year was
the outlier.
Yeah, so it's like, and that's not to say that he's, he's cooked or he's no good or anything like that, because, he had a couple of ordinary moments tonight, but then he did a lot of, I thought he was one of our better players.
Still did a lot of good.
I still thought he was one of our better players tonight. But I think he raised the bar of expectation last year, probably to, unrealistic levels. I think we're just getting, pretty much the same as what we've usually got from him, which is, a good, hard, honest effort with the occasional boner in there. But it was, I think the thing, Night Spud. Yeah, I think, I don't know, the thing that ended up frustrating me was just, we found ourselves, we kicked 7 goals in a row. We found us, we sort of had them, we had them on the ropes, and they got a bit shaky. And then just, I felt like every time when we were in a position in the game to maybe strike some really telling blows. Just our disposal and decision making let us down. And on occasion it was like, there was a lot of, I thought the pressure in the game was pretty high for for the full 4 quarters. But just like after half time, Danger coming out and just putting in a couple of very dismal kicks into the forward line, which they just took straight down and got goals out of.
Yep.
So within 3 minutes we'd already given up the lead, and it was just just not having a look, just throwing it on the boot.
Bombs, which unfortunately, whenever we start just slapping it on the boot, that tends to bring us unstuck, whether it's against the best teams or some of the worst.
Yeah, correct. But it wasn't like it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like I can overlook if look, we're just trying to get it down there. I guess force it into the area and then try to lock it in there. But when you've got a clear look at it and positioning your kick to the advantage of a forward or getting it into a dangerous position where, as I say, you can lock it in there and then create something from there. That's pretty frustrating there was a fair bit of that tonight. And it seemed to just come at times when when we had opportunities to maybe put the wind up them a little bit more than we had in the first half. But
that's it.
But
For a bit of context there to Angry Cat, who says Axe's tackle numbers are way down this year. He tries his guts out each week, but it looks like he needs a well-earned rest. Axe is currently, admittedly, he's got a game in hand, but he's currently second on the tackle count for the season so far, and is averaging the 5th highest in the competition, behind a few blokes who've hardly played this year in that list. So he's still traveling well. Yes, it's a bit like Horatio said, like the numbers aren't the same supreme high as he had last year, but he's not washed in any way. There's just a bit more, like there's a bit more in his ceiling, and he's just not hitting that at the moment.
Yeah,
the love for the curtains is kicking in again.
I think like early on in the season, I think the problem was that like he either wasn't getting enough of it, or when he was getting it, he wasn't doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think he's kind of, he's not getting as much of it. I don't think he's getting as much of it as he was last year. But I think in recent weeks he's been on the ballot, generally speaking, using it a lot better. And because he's sort of, I sort of always thought of him as being just one of those, when he gets it, just get it on the boot sort of players. But last year he was actually quite damaging at times with his disposal. And again, he hasn't reached those sorts of levels again this year, but he's closer to it at the moment than he was, in the first month of the season. But
agreed.
I think the main thing is that I think we can use the break. Jezza clearly could do with a week off, and I think there's a few other blokes there who could probably do with a bit of freshening up.
Absolutely, it's been a long run between. When did we have our bye off the back of opening round? When was that? It was the very next week.
It was either next week or round 2, I think.
Yep, it was round 2. Yeah, round 2. So it's been a long run. And you're right, it comes at a good time. we're coming off the back of a very difficult block. It doesn't necessarily get easier. We've still got Brisbane obviously in that first week after the bye, but then it gets a little bit smoother. You don't ever want to rule out GWS, of course, but the overall difficulty in that back half is lower, and so we can kind of build on that and get a bit of momentum, and get the troops back, build their capacity. Tyson Stengel comes back, all those sorts of things, and we can really position ourselves to have a red hot crack at it.
Yeah, well, look, I think,
and we're not that far off based on tonight.
No, like that's the thing. We've lost 3 of the last 4, but it's been by a combined total of what, 15 points?
Yeah,
14 points,
small.
something like that. Yeah, so even if we haven't played to our best, we've still been in positions to win games of footy, and as I said to you last week, I like to sort of talk a little bit about the opposition and how they're travelling, because then you get a bit of context as to puts your own form into context. So it's like, 4 weeks ago, you looked at the Crows going, it's like, yeah, we got a great record against them. We got a great record at Adelaide Oval. And then when they beat us, it's like, oh, well, it was only a point. But then you see how they played last week. It's like, yeah, they're going all right, So, that loss against them, it's like, well, we weren't playing a bunch of mugs that are out of form. There's side that finished on the top of the ladder last year, and they've hit their straps. They're starting to look like that team again. So, whereas, when we beat Brisbane up there, okay, it's always nice to be, you always want to beat Brisbane, and we owed them,
We do owe them.
We owed them something. But yeah, I mean, they weren't playing all that well at the time. So, yes, it's still a win against Brisbane, but they're not going that.
There's context. Context is still important.
But I think the situation as it stands for us for the rest of the year is that, I think Freo and Sydney have now pretty much got the top 2 spots wrapped up. It's just going to be.
It feels like it, yeah. The fight for 3 and 4.
Yeah. Now, I mean, given
dropping this one works against us a little bit, of course, with a bye next week. So that's another opportunity not to add some points in there. So with what do we got? There's obviously Melbourne level on points. I think they're going to fall back a little bit at some point soon. I think they've got to. I haven't looked at their fixture thoroughly, but they've got to start dealing with some tough teams soon. They've got Adelaide this weekend. They've got us somewhere in the future. They've got to have a tougher block coming up, surely. But Hawthorn, 2 fewer games than us at the moment. Adelaide, 2 fewer games than us at the moment, but only sitting 1 game behind. Brisbane, 1 game behind us. The Dogs. Like there's a few there that if they can have a couple good weeks, like we're right back in the pack with the bye next week. But I think we're still positioning ourselves well to overcome that, especially with a softer draw towards the end to finish in that top 4.
Yeah, well, we've definitely got the hardest section of our draw out of the way, but that's not to say that we still don't have some
work to do.
I mean, the good thing is that some of the tougher games that we have are at Geelong, which is always good.
Yeah,
which is always good for us.
Thankfully, GWS is up there. We don't have to play them on our home deck. That's just a problem.
Well, look, we don't have a great. The thing is, as far as I know, we don't have a great record up there either.
It's a little bit better in recent history. Maybe I don't know about the overall, but it's a bit better in recent history there than at home. But yeah,
like that's the thing. It's almost like you can recent times like you can mark the Giants game down as a bloody loss, but. That's the thing. I think it's one of those things where it's like if because we've had this little down patch here, not a huge down patch, but just enough to put 3 losses on the board. It's fine margins at the top of the table these days. So, so beating GWS when we get them in, what is it, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
That'll that'll right some of the wrongs.
Yeah, get a monkey off the back a little bit when it comes to them as well.
But yeah, like I just, I mean, look, where I have faith in us is just, we've done we've done a lot of hard work. We've got ourselves into a reasonable position, and usually when we get into these positions, we just know how to close it out, how to finish it off, get ourselves in a good position. So yeah, and of course, with the VFL flying and all that, we're not short on options.
Yeah, agreed.
Should we need them? So, so I think we're pretty well placed, to have a crack at it. But let's be honest, we're gonna have to improve, I think, fairly significantly on what we've showed for most of this year if we want to beat the mob we played tonight.
Yeah, that's fair.
At the biggest end of the season. Because I look, there's people still got question marks over them, but look, I've been watching footy for a long time, and I know when I see a team that's like, they're the goods, I think they're a monstrous chance to go on and win it this year. If they can't win it, look, I'll put it this way: if they can't win it this year, they'll never win one. Seriously, like
they do have a pretty supreme list.
And yeah, like I think, like, just with just going back quickly to the thing that annoyed me after, like, probably about halfway through the second quarter, was that the one thing that we were doing really well was isolating our forwards.
Yeah.
Because Ethan and I have had this conversation on and off about Freo all year. It's like they're one-on-one. They don't have great one-on-one defenders. Now, to be fair, most teams don't have great one-on-one defenders because it's just not something that people do anymore. I think we've talked about that in recent weeks. But we were really able to spread out their defenders, force them into one-on-one contests, and we were beating them one-on-one up forward. And it wasn't just on the lead, like once we put the ball up. So, and then we seemed to go away from that a little bit. Our ball use wasn't great, and and then I think with Jez sort of getting hurt, and you guys went over that a bit earlier.
I'm gonna pause here a second. We're gonna make this one a party because we've got another chair that's just entered the room. So give me 1 sec to fix the layout, and let's welcome in a new face to the chat. How's things, mate?
Good, bro. Yourself? How we doing?
Very well. I see that PS5 in the background. You must have loaded up. You must have just pre-ordered your GTA 6 as all the bit news is popping up tonight, and get yourself ready for November.
100%. I was just about to jerk off, and then the GTA 6 trailer came on. Fuck yeah, bro. Boys, I came on here to cheer you guys up. Why are you guys so upset, bro? You guys support Geelong. Fuck, you won.
No,
you won more flags
upset.
than I've seen. Oh, you're not? Oh, okay. So I just saw Horatio, and I was like, man, I'm going to cheer these guys up,
Yeah.
He's been nice and constructive.
No, if I sound a bit down, it's only because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm a little. I nearly didn't get on. I was getting a bit tired. I thought, no, we're not too bad. I don't know. I don't know how you saw the game this evening, but I know. I mean, we got beat by a bloody good side. I'll say that much.
Yeah. No, I mean, Freo at Optus, especially now, fuck, it's an unwinnable game. It's so hard to win there, It's underrated. People talk about the Gabba being a fortress and Adelaide Oval being a fortress. Bro, fucking Optus is right up there with them,
That environment is wild, just on the TV.
Yeah, well,
huge crowd there tonight too.
Yeah, but they're all bandwagons. They didn't exist fucking 5 years ago. Fremantle supporters, but now they're paying them to show the games. So
Yeah.
Whatever gets the job done, though.
yeah, that's it. But I don't think you guys were that bad. I just thought they were just a slightly better
That was
team
better.
of the day. Yeah.
No, I think the vulnerabilities are there. I think and Horatio, you were just talking about a little bit with the way we could kind of spread the defenders, and ultimately when and if we play them again, it's going to be either on the same paddock, which is a very sizable space, and so we could try and exploit them in a similar way, or it's going to be on the G, which is even that little bit bigger again, and we can again try and exploit them in a similar way. So I think there's a model there that you can try and implement. Now executing it is a whole other thing. But I think the actual model there is clear. Well,
Yeah,
clear is maybe a bit excessive, but like there's something to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they've got some weapons, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, they could have
well,
kicked straight and blown us away, but yeah.
what about that fucking unicorn in the ruck, Luke Jackson? And no offense to you guys already don't have a good ruck, like a real solid ruckman,
He just needs time to cook.
Yeah, but bro, what did he have? 3 goals, 30 touches, 30 hitouts? That's drug test that guy. He's not real. He's a fucking. He's a robot. He reminds me of Ivan Drago. You remember Drago from
Yes.
Rocky 3?
Yep.
No, that's him. That's him, bro. But he's not. But yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
Like you were saying though, Paul.
Those are
the
triple
G's
double
a completely
numbers.
different environment. Yeah, literally in the AFL, fucking crazy. But no, to your point, yeah, the grand finals played at the MCG. I don't rate. Freo are a great team, home and away team, but I don't think they'll do much in finals. I think they'll be really similar to Adelaide last year, just go to straight sets.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I quite subscribe to that, but I do have my reservations about them going all the way.
Yeah.
But that's maybe because they're unproven. Like they haven't been and done it, so there might
Exactly.
be a little bit of that history thing just eating away in my head as well, which shouldn't be a factor because really we need to just play it as it lies and treat them for what they are right now. But you can't ignore a lack of history so far.
Yeah, that it's that thing of just like, as I say, the thing that struck me with them this year is just a lot. They've been in positions in games a lot this year, and against not against crap teams, against good teams that in the past when they needed to stand up, they would not have stood up, and they haven't just stood up; they've stood up emphatically. So I feel like in that regard, they've kind of turned the corner. Now we know finals is another level up again. Can they go up to that level? But they sort of the way they've gone about it this year reminds me a bit of Melbourne in 2021. The way they used to do it, it's like if you challenge, if the game was close to you challenge them, they would click the switch and gone. They were gone. So it's got a little bit of that vibe about it for me. But as I say, we'll see how they front up in September. I'd say, they've. I mean, they're going to make it obviously, but how are you fellas going to go this weekend, Tush?
Oh, well, look, okay, you want me to be serious, all right? The Giants,
or don't feel like you need to be.
No. So the Giants are scary. I respect the hell out of the Giants, right? So they're a really well structured team. I think Adam Kingsley is one of the best coaches in the AFL, right? They score a lot, which is scary because we leak a lot of goals, right? They score 14 goals in a quarter against the reigning premiers, so you got to respect it. That being said, Carlton never losing again, so I tipped us by 42 points, and I have no doubt in my mind they're going to win.
Good stuff. Can't argue with it. The logic is flawless.
We haven't lost in a month, 35 days, bro. Fucking, I forgot what losing feels like. This is how you guys feel all the time?
This is how we felt for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Except for when we don't.
Yeah, what do you
Well, you got to
2-3. You're 2-3 in your last 5, yeah?
Yes.
Fuck.
We haven't seen a losing we haven't seen a losing ledger in a while.
Yeah. Fuck. We literally swap places. Usually I'm used to us losing all the time. Bro, it took me 2 months to see a win. 2 months.
The world's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Carlton's back and Geelong have fallen off. No.
Hey, you can always jump on
We
the
fell off,
bandwagon,
bro.
boys. Fuck off! You're fourth on the ladder talking about we fell off. I don't want to hear it, bro.
Yeah, but
fallen
that
off
is
a cliff
falling off for
before.
us.
Talk to me when Sam Petrescu Seaton's in your midfield and you win 2 games for the year. Then come hit me up about falling off, bro.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Darcy Lang. We'll throw other names out there that mean a bit to the Geelong community as well.
Oh yeah, who else?
Billy
Billy
Smets.
Oh, man.
Gave you.
Yeah, Billy Smeds. Of course,
David Clark Jr. We gave you the wrong junior.
Well, isn't Frankie Evans from Geelong? Wasn't he at Geelong?
Yeah,
first?
he's a reject.
Oh, bro, he's a reject from like 8 different clubs. The guy's
Lockie Fogarty is also one of ours.
Oh, yeah, there's an absolute pearl we managed to foist off onto you.
You know, I remember when we signed Fogarty, I was like, fuck yeah, bro, he's from Geelong. You know, he must be good, bro. Why'd you guys do that to us? Sold us a fucking false bill of goods.
Gave you a lemon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sink the slipper into the guy because he's played a lot more league footy than I have.
Yeah, we're sitting on our asses talking about it.
But it's pretty much with most of our guys. It's like it doesn't take long to find out why they're not wearing one of our Guernseys anymore. It's a bit like, see, I learned this lesson with Hawthorn back in the 80s. Like, they won 5 flags in 8 years, whatever it was. They made the grand final every year, but their resis would, make the grand final, finish second. And they'd have they've got 8, 9 blokes in their twos that get a game for any other club. And then a lot of them went and got games for other clubs and couldn't get a kick.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's your system. That just shows how good their system is and your system is, because players in your club can thrive. But when they come to other clubs that aren't really... Bro, it's almost like... Imagine going from a club... Okay, well, Carlton are really good now. We're winning the flag. But imagine 2 months ago, right? Going from Geelong to Carlton, right? You'd get there and be like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sure the training regimen's completely different. Coaching style's completely different. Everything, bro. The bathrooms will be different, bro. I'm sure you guys do the bathrooms better than us. So...
They've got bidets.
Yeah. See it. I'm sure your janitor's top level while ours fucking sucks. So it will be a shock to the system, And when you're in a winning system, it's a lot easier to look good. When you're in a shit team, like Carlton used to be 2 months ago before winning the flag, it's a lot harder to hide your deficiencies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, agreed. Who was I was talking about? That's right. I mentioned this in Discord the other day. It was like watching, when Marcus Herbert got picked up from our
From the
two,
AFL, off to the West Coast,
playing in the waffle. Like the first game that I watched, his first game for the West Coast waffle team, and the amount of he was running his ass off and getting burned. And I'm like, see, this is an example of what happens when you got a bloke who's played in one system and, has developed his game in that particular system and then finds himself the next week in a different system.
Fish out of water.
So he's trying to sort of do what he would do if he still had our Guernsey on. And he's playing with a bunch of guys who aren't doing what we were doing the week before. So he's still got 23 touches, and then was playing in the ones last weekend and starred. But yeah, it was just an interesting observation to see the difference between when you see a guy come out of one system and then get plugged into another system, how that can kind of affect how the guy's traveling.
Yep. And how you perceive their performance.
Yeah, spot on. Can I just ask a question real quick as a Geelong outsider? I don't really follow the club that closely. Where the fuck's James Worpel?
He's in the twos.
Just in the twos.
Would he not have been...
He's getting a lot of the ball, but the typical slights on Worpel is his disposal efficiency. That's still not been great even in the seconds. And I think, Jack Bowes was the one that was kind of side by side with him for a while there. They were both getting high 30s and 40 disposals a game. They erred on the Bowes side of it, and I would stand by that probably. I know there could be an argument to be made. Oh, you might have been handy tonight for the tackle pressure and those sorts of things, which he absolutely excels in, and we're probably lacking in that respect tonight. But that would have been improved with Baz there, because I think that's one of the best things he's done this year is really add that defensive quality to his game. His tackle count's been fantastic this year. There's probably a bit of a what if. It might have been handy for him tonight, but no, I'm kind of okay with where it's at. I'd like that George Stevens is getting his opportunity. But he'll inevitably play a few more games before the end of the year. Who knows? He might be the one that kind of pops in that round 23 sort of period and is there for the end of it, where he'll butcher it at a horrible time in a prelim final and give away a goal to the opposition, and we'll be kicking ourselves for bringing him in.
Yeah, no, don't please don't say that. Don't say
if
that.
I say it now, then it's some sort of way of diffusing the pain when it comes later on, or jinxing it so that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and you watch it not only just happen, but happen against Hawthorn or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, it'll be awful.
Oh.
It'll be like, I've been right about Danger. I reckon I'm right about Blitzers. I reckon I'm right about a few other bits that I need to see happen. I might unfortunately be right about this one. Who knows?
All right, let's just bookmark this. Let's just mark this down right. Let's just mark this down right now. If this actually eventuates, you have to award yourself Nuff of the Week.
Nuff of the Year. I said round 23, so he comes back in for the North game, doesn't miss a game at that point, and he costs us important goals and potentially a win in the finals. That's it. That was the unfortunate prediction. Maybe against Carlton with the way they're surging at the moment.
Oh, but we'll see in September. But I already cancelled my holiday plans, everything. I'm free.
Well, the thing is, even if you guys lose this week, right? Like, although I know
there we go. Ben understands.
But like,
results don't lie, mate.
You guys should win probably the next 3 after that. So
but we're going to win at least 7 in a row, and everyone's going to lose their minds, right? But then we have a hard run. But it doesn't matter though. We're still not losing.
Yeah,
but you could
because then the momentum's too great. They just can't stop us,
bro. Okay, I'm not even being funny. Okay, I'm not even being funny. Literally, we're the most momentum-heavy team in the AFL in history ever. I swear. When we get on a roll, you can't stop us. It's actually impossible. I'm so convinced, Paul and Horatio, that if we made the grand final in 2023, we would have fucking whooped Collingwood.
I agree. No, I absolutely agree.
Them. Yeah. Right? We just
had that momentum go for you in that prelim, though. 5 goals in a row, and then that momentum just stopped.
Yeah, that was the first sign of the Michael Voss effect. Shout out him. Rip that guy. But yeah.
Yeah, forget about him. He's gone.
We got Fraser. Fraser Freight Train. Jump on, baby.
Rearview mirror.
Exactly.
Why, like the thing is though, like I had actually heard, like when you guys appointed, it's like, I'll bet you they bloody win like 7 the next 8 or something, because everything I've heard about Josh Fraser, had heard about Josh Fraser and his coach and sort of how he is around the club, the clubs that he's working with and stuff like that. It's like, shit, this guy sounds like exactly the sort of dude that Carlton actually need running the show at the moment. He just sounds like that guy who knows how to get in there, get the players on side, get them up and about, get the people at the club focused and, hey, this is what we're doing, and get everyone on the same page. I was like, I think this might actually work quite well for the Blues. And here we are, sort of a month into it, and it's banding about like bloody beauties.
Well, Fraser just came in this year. Well, he learned from Craig McRae, Fly, right? So he's one of Fly's students. honestly, bro, like honestly speaking, the game plan we're playing isn't too different to Voss's, and you hear the players saying it all the time. It's like, Voss built a foundation for this, but the biggest difference between Fraser and Voss is that Fraser actually trusts these kids. He lets them go. So like Billy
Yeah.
Wilson, I'm sure you know who Billy Wilson is after he tore you guys up, and Lockie Cowan. Sorry. But Lockie Cowan was stuck
Never
in the
heard of
back
him.
pocket. Lockie Cowan was stuck in the back pocket for the entirety of like Voss's tenure. He wasn't allowed to run with the ball off half back, and now he is. And we're putting some of these senior players like Haynes and Newman in these harder roles, like the less sexy roles. Pommy,
Yeah.
one of the greatest sports analysts ever, right, in history. He says this thing where he empowers the kids to actually play football. He gives them the responsibility, and when you empower the kids, they feel a sense of responsibility that this club is theirs. They need to actually show up, and they do. They perform really well, bro. So
They crack in.
again,
No doubting that.
yeah, crack. 100%. I'm sure you guys know. You guys always have an elite culture with great kids. I don't know how you
Yeah.
guys do it. Literally, I used to be jealous. I'd be like, fucking, but anyone
Paddocks.
you get in would, yeah, yeah.
Land.
But like,
No.
but if you look at Melbourne, right? Look at the fucking change Melbourne's had over the last year. Yeah, Melbourne players said the same thing. The CEO said the same thing as well before he left. He said this is Simon Goodwin's game plan, right? They sacked him after a win. The only difference is now that they stick to it. It's a new coach, new direction, but nothing's really changed. Just mental, and it goes to show, bro. Like everyone's an AFL footballer that plays. Everyone that plays AFL football is good. Yeah, they're all elite level athletes. So the skill difference, while it's there, isn't that major, right?
Yeah, agreed.
I truly believe this is 90% mental, right? This fucking game is 90% mental. That's why some clubs with elite cultures like Geelong, there's a reason you've been at the top for 20 years, 30 years. All my life, bro. I'm 20 years, all my life, I've never seen you guys shit, ever. So yeah, culture and mindset plays a big part in it. And I think that's the big thing at Carlton. It's a different culture, different mindset.
Yeah, but I think, if you looked at the numbers from the first couple of months of the season, it's like, I think it was only one game, the Carlton, at some point during the game, like halftime or beyond, was not in a position to win that game. And they couldn't, they even got
They just couldn't finish the job.
blown out of the water or run over in the last, 10, 15 minutes. And
No,
it's
you're
like,
right. I'm
and
just quickly scrubbing back through it now. Like there was the blowout against Sydney in opening round.
but they were
And then
they were
Third
20,
quarter.
early in the
12
third
goals
quarter. They
in
were
the
4
third quarter.
goals in front.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, good point.
But then Sydney kicked 12 goals in a row.
Yep. I had a front row seat to that game. I fucking spent like $1,500, $2,000 almost to go to Sydney for that
Oof.
game.
At a halftime, you would have been like, and then at
Bro,
three
at
quarters, you would
halftime,
have been like,
bro, there's a vlog. Go check out the vlog. I'm up and about. I'm getting to the Sydney supporters. I'm saying, fuck Kerno, that dog. And then he kicked 3 on us. I was just like,
they're like,
fuck's sake.
sit down, dickhead.
Reality came and kicked your ass.
Yeah.
Jeez. But yeah, like as far as like quarters one and stuff like that, it's like, shit, these guys shouldn't be like 1 and 7 or whatever they were. Like you would expect to, a team that is been in the positions that they're in to be at least 50-50 here, 4 and 4 at worst. So that's the thing. It's not just something that happened this year. It was happening last year and, at times the year before too. It's like once that happens, it's all up here and you just need something to release that pressure valve and just someone else to come in and have a look at it and say, hey, fellas, you can win you're getting yourselves in winning positions and you're good enough to finish it off. You've just got to, freshen up and instill that belief. And
It's just
I'm not that surprised really that, like I say, I sort of, I already rated Josh Fraser before he got the job and thought, someone's going to pick this guy up and he's going to be good because I've only ever heard good things about it work that he's done at any club he's been at. So, it doesn't surprise me. And I actually sort of expect that you guys will sneak into one of those last couple of spots in the finals there.
Yeah. Do you see us doing? Do you genuinely see us doing it? Finishing.
I think you can. Yeah, I do.
Poll.
Look, your run is pretty favourable, so it gives you a chance. Obviously, it's not without difficult games along the way. It gives you a chance. It's just I'm going to quickly bring up the ladder just so I'm not forgetting anyone. But where are you? You're 5-8. A team that currently sits in the 10 is 6-8. So you're a game out technically as things stand.
Yeah.
With a game in hand on St Kilda as well. I mean, there's no reason why not. Like, I look at those teams immediately above you, Collingwood, North, GWS, St Kilda. Why not?
That's what I want to fucking hear.
And I think it is that why not energy. Like, there's plenty of reasons that anyone could sit here as a neutral like we are, or as a Carlton fan like yourself or other Carlton fans and go, here's the reasons why they can't make it. And they're probably pretty reasonable things to consider, like factors in the mix. But I look at those teams, those 4 teams sitting above you at the moment, I go, I could probably make the same arguments for them too. So why not? So then it becomes a, well, why not us sort of energy?
Yeah.
Why not slip in there in 10th and see what we can do?
Yeah, well,
Scare a few teams.
I just think our best is a lot better than the teams around us. So like from like that, what are we, 13th? From like 13th to like 8th
14th right now.
14th to like 8th. I would say our ceiling is really fucking high, right? And mainly, and this is a compliment, I swear, don't take this the wrong way, because we beat you in the way we did, right? But if we play like that, if we play like the way we played against you, there's not many teams that are going to beat us this year, right? But it's very hard to keep up that level of like, standard.
Yeah, week after week like that is difficult. You're right.
Yeah.
Especially for a younger list with some of those blokes that you were talking about before that need time to cook.
Yeah, and there's no experience either. Yeah, we have no premiership experience, no finals experience even. Our captains, our leaders, I love them, but they don't. I say this all the time. They're not winners, not because they're losers, but they just haven't won anything. Yeah. The experience of actually winning a chip is like you can't put a price on it, So, but yeah, like our ceiling, bro. Like again, and then you saw us next week against Essendon. We played like shit, which I'm kind of hoping, was just an outlier. Essendon dragged us down to the level, but if we play like. Fuck, now you G me up. Now I can see the flag. But
all right, I was just talking about you slipping into 10th place. I didn't say anything about it.
I'm not going that far.
I was talking wild card making it.
If we get in, the comp needs to be put on notice, because once we're in, then anything could happen. I just want to get into the wild card. From then, I don't know what can, but like, bro, anything can happen. Look at the Bulldogs. Look at us fucking 3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that you won a final from 9th. So
yeah,
back when Essendon got ruled out.
I wasn't even in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, look, that's the thing. I'm prepared, watching the jumper punch and all that, and a lot of the sort of the meltdowns and that during that period there at the start of the year. I'm like, you guys are not that bad, this is all, most of this that's going on is up here. Like, you've kind of got in your own head. I think you played a lot of good footy, just couldn't sustain that good footy for long enough in games or like say, just losing your minds, essentially, like when when games got close in the last quarter, it's like, no, that's just guys who they've lost that trust. Like, this is what they don't trust each other. They don't trust themselves and they don't trust each other. So they need someone to come in and restore that trust in themselves as footballers and trust in their teammates, that yes, we can get up here and we can actually win these, not just have it sewn up for 3.5 quarters and then throw it away. Like, no, we're gonna finish this game. So I agree, I think, in the sense that I think when you're up and about, you're as good as, the next half dozen teams above you. So, I don't see why you can't get in there from here and even win a final.
There you go. We'll talk about
Look at
finals.
that.
Wait,
We'll turn the Hoops crew into a Carlton show.
Yeah. But,
We've been halfway there over the course of the last few years anyway.
Really?
Yeah, we do get a lot of Carlton peeps in, don't we?
There's a lot of us, so
you're fucking everywhere.
there's a lot of us. But back to Geelong. We'll go back to Geelong. Do you guys think you're in trouble? How we feel? What's the vibes after that loss? Because I don't think it's that bad. But like now,
we're not in
looking at
trouble.
the top four. Looking at the top four though, do you still think you're a solid chance for top four? Because there's a couple teams below you that have two games in hand, right? So you would need to be
that
better.
is the problem
than,
we face. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Hawthorn, 2 games on us now.
What is the
Melbourne
level
have a
of
game
chance,
in
right?
hand. Not that I think Melbourne will come back to the pack, but they've got a game on us. Adelaide, 2 games in hand. Like they're problems, and Brisbane, if they get a bit of momentum, will just be a problem anyway. Like there's some fierce competition for that spot. Dropping as many games as we have in the last month and a half is not ideal.
Yeah.
But also we've got to, we get past our bogey team in GWS in 3 weeks from now, and if we do that, it's a pretty soft run to the finish line at that point. So with especially with the 3 games at the end that everyone continues to the Essendon, Richmond, and North games that everyone, look at the AFL, look at what they're doing for Geelong every year. No, we'll just ignore the block of games that, I say block, it's been 12 weeks of just top end encounter to fucking Carlton that continues to have the wood on us.
So what? So how many games have we got left? We've got 8 games left, right?
The Cats have got 7.
7?
No, sorry. No, sorry, we said that before. Yeah, sorry, you're right. We've got 8.
So I mean, we go. I think we could safely expect to go 6-2. I think if we do that, that's a top 4 spot.
Let me check your next. Let me check your run home because I haven't seen it.
So we've got our next 2 games are the toughest of the entire run, I think. So we've got Brisbane at GMHBA and then GWS over at Energy, and that's just because we got history, a bit like against you guys. We got history with GWS. From there, it's St Kilda, Melbourne, who I know obviously are 4th right now, but I think they will come back to the pack. The Pies, the Bombers, North, and Richmond to finish it up.
Melbourne only play good in the day. By the way, they're Sunday 3:15 merchants. They don't play well on Friday nights. That whole mystique they have of like MCG Melbourne doesn't work. So you guys got them there.
So I mean, I'd like to think 6-2 is a minimum.
Yeah, no, you would think so. But you could go. I don't know. I've never heard of the fucking the beef you have with the Giants. I didn't realize they have the.
We just keep losing to them at home, so we're not playing them at home, which is nice. But like we're playing them over there. But yeah, we just keep running into a GWS brick wall the last few years.
Wow,
usually
really
Toby
do.
Green
Holy shit.
firing up. We're so sick of it that we're just going to bring Toby Green to go join the Cats anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit like, honestly, it's almost a bit like what I was like with when we we were going to get Rowan Marshall last year. It's like, look, I don't give a shit whether he's washed up or whether he actually adds anything to the team, as long as he's not bloody playing for them next time we get him at freaking Docklands, because he's best on ground every fucking time we play them there.
And Toby Green is that against us too.
Even if Toby Green actually never plays a game for like he injures himself and never plays for us, it's like, well, at least next time the Giants are down here, he's not fucking playing for them.
At least you have players that are actually good, do well against you. We make shit players look good. Ben Keys kicks 5 goals and has 30 touches a game against us all the time, right? You know who Tom Sparrow is? Bro,
Tom Sparrow from Melbourne.
Yeah, Tom Sparrow. I didn't know. So I foolishly made the remark of being like, man, Tom Sparrow and Sam Walsh, who the fuck is Tom Sparrow, bro? He's not going to do anything. And then he had like 30 touches, 2 goals, best on ground. We choked a 40-point lead. But like, it's these players that you don't like. I know Ben Keys is good, but he's not a superstar. He's not Toby Green. He's not ranking.
No, that's fair. He's not at that level.
Yeah, but like we make him look like he's at that level. You know, like Sydney, we love making Joel Amati look like a great key forward. That's second coming of Tony Lockett. We always do it. We always do it. You know, there's always just weird players that pop up against us. So
it's just one of those things that always happens. It's just always there's those dudes, and like it could be like superstars or absolute mugs, but there's just every team seems to have that one dude that just, it doesn't matter how they're going, it doesn't matter whether they've had a kick for the whole bloody year. As soon as they see your jumper, suddenly
line up well.
there's 3 Brownlow votes, jumps out of the freaking building. Like, it's like, like I know, talking about like bloody superstars, it's like every time I go, I felt like every time I went and watched us play Hawthorn back in the fucking 80s and 90s, Jason Dunkel would kick bloody 12, 13 goals on us. But then that would have been the same as what Richmond supporters felt like every time Gary Ablett walked into the G. Like, I think he averaged like 9 goals a game against them or something. But yeah,
who's that player for us against you? Blake Acres. You guys
Yes,
love
it's
making
Blake
Blake Acres
Acres.
look like a
Fucking Blake Acres.
You love making him look like he's, I don't know, the best winger in the comp.
Like, and this was like, did you recall him for that game or the game before?
Yes, you brought him back for that game. He came back for that game.
Like all year I've been watching you guys going, if that prick ever wears our jersey in a senior match again, we're cutting up our memberships, mate. We're going to go down to Prince's Park and burn the fucking place down.
Except if
and
he
then
comes back,
he comes back in against us, you're winning. He's probably going to get the 3 Brownlow votes.
Yeah, no, can confirm. I don't know, bro. That's a you problem. Stop making him look good. Did he have a good game against you? I can't remember.
Yeah, he finished with 20 and really blunted Ollie Dempsey.
Yeah, that's the game he had more.
Ollie still kicked 2 goals, but
but Akers worked him up and around the ground. Akers was everywhere that night. Yeah, but that was really quiet game for Akers standards. He that was quiet for Akers. Usually he kicks like 2-3 goals, has 25 touches against Geelong. Always.
Yeah.
He never kicks goals, only against you.
Yeah. Although since that game, he actually hasn't been too bad, has he?
Nah, he's been terrible. I wanted him to drop this week. I don't think he's that good. So,
although
get out of our winning team. Get out of our 4-game winning streak team.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, good point. But I just want Ollie Hollands back in there.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
No, that's
Ollie.
That's Ollie, not the other one.
Oh, hang on, you said Ollie, not Elijah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Ollie. We will leave that
He's
alone.
a ripper.
He's really good. He just got off injury as well, so I thought it would have been perfect to bring him back.
He actually, I mean, he's young and chock full of talent, but he's played pretty well against us in the last few times as well.
Yeah. Well, he's really super good in that 10-goal win a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yes. Don't remind me. Although it would have been easier for you to name the guys that didn't have a good game against us that night.
Bro, I was too smashed that night to really remember the game. I was
fucking paralyzed.
Don't remind me of that game. Because I thought we were winning the flag from that game, and then we just fucking died. That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Like, I thought, oh man, we're screwed. Like, we were just fucking horrible. And wasn't that Tomahawk's last game too? Wasn't that night he done
injured the foot, and that was his last ever game?
Disaster.
Really?
I'm like
Jake Wiedering took him out. End
of
his career.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Fuck, what a way to go out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But then, that night, you guys look like absolute Monties. And then, I think within a month, half your team was fucking injured, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, fuck, bro, you're making me talk about this year. Well, without getting too much into it, injuries was not the reason we didn't make finals. We just fucking sucked. We sucked, and then the injuries kicked in, and they made us suck even more. But even without the injuries, the same thing would have happened.
See, like that was the thing. I reckon St Kilda based that $1.7 million contract that they gave TDK on that night.
Well, it was that 4-week stretch. That was the best, but that was like Luke Jackson numbers he was having.
Oh,
He
he
looked
was
like
outrageous for a month there.
He looked
Yeah.
like fucking Gary Dempsey.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
so-
bloody hell. And then, yeah, he although he's starting to play some decent footy for the bloody Saints at the moment.
He's
pretty
getting
sure it's the 23rd. I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd ranked ruckman in the comp. So he's not getting.
Yeah, he's
shit, terrible.
his recent history was trending up. I was watching him live last weekend, and he looked pretty solid.
Yeah, but
I'll
he's
tell you-
Briggs.
Just to be
Who's
clear,
that?
I was only at the game because my son was playing Auskick at halftime. I did not care about St Kilda and St Kilda and GWS otherwise.
I was going to ask you what you were doing there.
Yeah. Scouting out Toby and old mate Darcy Wilson.
Do you live in Melbourne or Geelong?
No, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I'm in the Macedon Ranges, so I'm about an hour north. I guess I'm probably closer to. Oh no, it's between Melbourne and Bendigo.
Yeah. Right. Wow. Why'd you go for Geelong? I mean,
My granddad played for him.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Fuck, you got like ties. Wow, I was just an immigrant and I came here and I was like, Carlton, I like navy blue. I just picked navy blue. Worst decision of my life.
See, now if you'd gone for navy blue and white hoops,
So my
Would've been a
best
different
mate,
thing.
my best mate in primary school was a Geelong supporter, and the first game I went to was a Geelong game with him and his dad.
Yeah, right. Oh, you
So
nearly had the opportunity.
I could have been so happy. I could have been here with you guys, probably upset after the loss. But like, fuck, bro, we'd be having the time of our lives.
yeah.
Be a bit like the Pommy story. He was nearly a cat as well.
Yeah.
I think I think it's just one of those things where although it's like I don't know if you I don't know if you're don't know if you're quite old enough to have experienced this, Paul, but the thing that used to make me laugh is that all the Poms that came over on the $10 boats came over when the 10-year period when St Kilda was going all right. Right. The
But still
only
not winning.
10-year period, like in their whole bloody 160-year existence, all these $10 Poms came over, thought, oh, the Saints, they're bloody winning. We'll follow them. And then they ended up down the bottom and haven't won a fucking thing since.
Done anything, yeah.
Like all of them. Like it was just like my stepfather come over from Scotland. He was a St Kilda supporter. One of my ex-missus, her parents were English. They were St Kilda supporters. The lot of them, all of us, like they all followed St Kilda. It's like, what the hell were you thinking?
Mistakes were made. They'll
So, yeah,
they forever pay the price for him.
It could have been worse to us. It could have been worse.
Could have been an Essendon supporter. Then I would really hate my life.
You'd be one of those plebs out there screaming for Hurdy right now.
You know
Not
what,
really
I
sure
probably would.
why you're doing it either, but just doing it because it's the popular thing.
Just something. I don't even blame Essendon supporters that want Herd back. Bro, if I was that down in the dumps, I'd also just leech onto some random guy that, you know, it's like going back to your ex. You ever break up with a girl and you just go back to her? It's like what they're doing. Fucking, he's the reason you're in this shit. Anyways, but anyways, I'm not allowed to speak about James Hurd. My best friend's a Essendon supporter, and she gets really upset when I talk about James Hurd.
She's not here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unless those
boys.
spidey senses are going off, at which point, okay, we better bail.
they might
Yeah,
be. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like I mean, this is Essendon we're talking about. Like, I know, like, my members of my family are Essendon supporters. I lived near. They all lived. I had a lot of relatives who lived near Windy Hill, so we used to sort of hang out there for games and stuff when I was a kid, and yeah, you would always hear stories about Essendon and how they roll and stuff like that, and it's been this way my whole life. It's like they've got their own way that they roll, and it's not even like like say like Collingwood was back when I was a kid, and everyone used to laugh at them because they couldn't win they couldn't win make all these grand finals, couldn't win a bloody
Collie
flag.
wobbles.
The collie wobbles, yep. And but it was just that misplaced arrogance and stuff like that. It's like, you just haven't won anything, How about you just shut the fuck up, but with Essendon, it was something else again. Like they were somehow even more insular than Collingwood. Yeah. So I just like there is no way in hell that if what had happened with Essendon like over the last 10 or 15 years happened at Geelong, I would want anybody involved with setting up what went down there. I wouldn't just want them back at the club. I wouldn't want them within 20 kilometres of the club, let alone coaching them. But this is Essendon we're talking about. Yeah. So it's almost like the thing I'm sort of thinking is like, I feel they're just going to have to scrap. I don't care. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure Atushi as a Carlton supporter in particular. It's like, you know what? If this sets it back another 10 years, if this sets it back another 10 years, who cares? It's great.
To be fair, as someone who doesn't have the hatred for Essendon, but is thoroughly entertained by the whole situation, it's fine. Go for it. Fuck it up as meant. Just bring on Herd and let it all fall apart. No, it's fine.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Yeah, do it.
I was there the day that the drought began. I was there for that semi-final back in 2004 when the Cats beat him. Hurdy put up a good fight in the final quarter, nearly pinched it for him, but Cats got the job done. And since that point, they've never won a final. Feels good. Feels good to have been there when it all began.
And honestly, like that was one of those, like that goal Junior kick at the start of the game where he just burst out the center and slammed it through. It's like, ooh, we're gonna win this one tonight. And then
after getting pantsed by Port the previous week,
and then bloody like if James Hurd had actually won that game for him, because by God, he gave it a good shake. It wouldn't have been the first time I'd seen him beat us off his own boot. But yeah, if you come up to me after that game and told me that Essendon would as of this time not have won a final since that year, like I would have just laughed at you. I was like, no way, that's not going to happen. I just cannot even believe that. Yeah, that was the closest.
Having some pretty unreal players along the way, and they've still not been able to put it together.
To put into perspective, I wasn't born the last time Essendon won a final.
That's so fucking depressing for me.
I wasn't born. I wasn't even anywhere near born.
I was 15 for that one.
Fuck you.
Russia, don't worry. Don't do it to yourself, mate.
How old were you in 2005, Horatio?
Me?
Yeah.
33.
I'm not that old. But you guys aren't that old, but 40 is the new 30 anyways.
Yeah. Oh, well,
good. I'm not even that yet then. I'm only 37.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I'm getting on the wrong side of it.
That's it. I say that, and for the first time ever, I tweaked my calf yesterday at basketball. So maybe the old age is starting to kick in. My leg's been wrapped in ice all day.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not a great deal you can do about it.
No.
Once you cross the line, mate, there's no going back. But yeah, like honestly, like if you
By the way, my fucking school, the number of sets of stairs in that joint, I should not have left my old school this past year because I would have been fine. Flat planes, nice and easy. Now I've been walking staircases all day today, and it's just been fuck. The students have had a good time watching me try and go up the stairs.
Man, you need to get one of those. You need to get one of those disabled trolleys, man. That sort of you just sort of
sit on it, carries me up the stairs.
Yeah, that's those ones.
As I go past, flipping them off.
Yeah, it's doing the Mr. Bean thing, doing the. But yeah, like I mean, it's a safety with Carlton though. After they thumped us in the '95 grand final, if you had told me that 31 years later, right, Carlton still wouldn't have won another flag, and not only that, but we won 4. I would have like, no, that won't happen. No, here we are.
I think it's mainly because we cheated. We thought we were
something to do with that. Yeah, you didn't pay the price for it properly either.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, take the flag off and give it to the Cats. Give it to the runner-up.
But like,
put a dirty big star next to their name on Wikipedia.
Yeah, but like the thing was though, like they got in trouble.
Everyone was doing it. They just got caught.
But they got in like how
you guys still do it.
Yeah,
like Greg,
we just don't give brown paper bags. We give brown cows and a block of grass.
It's like when Greg Williams signed with Carlton from Sydney, like Carlton then got in a monstrous amount of shit for, doing all these dodgy wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. Didn't matter. He still played for him and then bloody won a Norm Smith. Like at that point in my life, I was like, this guy was one of the best players in the competition. We had him. He didn't want to leave. And he walked out the door over $5,000, $5,000 freaking dollars, and here he is winning a Norm Smith medal for Carlton, a team that did not want him, told him he was shit, too slow, piss off. He's winning a Norm Smith medal for them, in a grand final against us.
For the difference of $5,000. Nick Dacos earned that in the last 30 seconds you were talking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, surely someone could have, pulled the shoebox out from under the bed and just rustled up a lazy 5, just get around.
Here's a nice
the ground.
watch. Take the watch and go and pawn it off. Like, who cares? Do what you got to do.
Well, this was before the days of the salary cap too, I might add. Yeah. So, but like, surely they could have just like rattled the can or something like that, or like, where's the dudes that walk around with the blanket? They used to walk around with the blanket at half time. Big coins at it. You remember those guys?
Shit.
Or like, the Carlton used to have the peanut guy. The peanut guy would walk along the boundary, and like he'd have like the little blanket and shit. And you didn't even want the peanut. You'd just be pegging coins and stuff at him.
That could have paid his salary.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like.
I mean, Williams. Like, take that money. That could have paid him.
I'll just never forget picking up the age one Monday morning at school, and there's Greg Williams, Bernard Toohey, and David Bolton standing there in bloody Swans gear at training. I'm like that's 3 of our best 6 players at the moment. They're gone. But anyway, that was what it used to be like. It ain't like that no more.
No, very prim and proper, and definitely nothing sus. No blocks of land.
I don't even care about the blocks of land, mate. You can pile them on, give them cotton on franchises, and novated leases and all this kind of
Morris
stuff.
Finance.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't care less, man. You know, we were on the receiving end for a number of years.
It's our turn, damn it.
Yep, that's it. Like,
I always say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not doing something to get around
Win
the
if you
rules-
can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Exactly.
yeah. And what was it? I think it was Igor Stravinsky, the great composer, once said, "All great artists steal."
Fucking hell.
Same thing. So, yeah, the point is though, like, after all the pain I went through in the first half of being a Geelong supporter, it's like now I get to feel like Carlton supporters and Essendon supporters and that used to feel like back in the day.
Yeah, well, I missed that era. I came in at the worst time. I came in at the Bolton era. That was my Carlton.
Oh.
2-0, 2-20 Carlton. That was like losing by 138 points against Hawthorn. That was my Carlton.
One day you'll come good.
But thanks, man.
Gents-
I've been hearing that for the last 15 years.
Hey, if Richmond can do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to happen at some point. Freo might be about to win their first premiership. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean
Gents-
that's the way it's going these days.
Yeah, who knows? We're in it's the dark timeline. On that note, though, guys, I gotta get up for work in about 4 hours. So I might look to wrap this one up. We can all get ourselves a bit of rest, and well, at least one of us can look forward to a win. No, is this your bye weekend?
No, they got the Giants.
No, oh, that's right. Yeah, Giants this
on
weekend.
Saturday.
At least one of us can look forward to maybe a win this weekend.
Definitely a win.
But
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'll watch the VFL closely.
Yeah, and I do just want to say, like, Ben mentioned Tony Modra earlier. I just sincerely hope that he pulls through this, because I'm not joking. After post-game live last week, I was drinking, having some nice beers, listening to some tunes and that, and I just happened on my feed came up a reel of Tony Modra's best marks. So I was sitting here with the missus watching these Tony Modra highlights going, you want to see a bloke who could get up. And he used to take marks like this every week. This guy could fly. So less than a week later, it's like they flashed something. I was like, oh, you're kidding, aren't you? I've just been watching. And all I can say is, like, after Tony Modra, I was watching some Warwick Kappa highlights. So Warwick, stay away from the trucks, mate.
No working any crossings, no lollipops for a while. Just keep away, and yeah. I'm doing a quick scroll. I'm not seeing any more recent updates since, like,
No.
Justin Longmuir spoke about him in his post match conference, but I'm not seeing any specific updates at all. So fingers crossed. I get maybe no news is good news for a while.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, it is late. I have to get up and take my kids to school as well. So yeah. Your folder, Tush.
Yeah.
I
I was about to kick his stupid ass out of the stream, and you rolled in.
That's all right. No, it's been
I
good.
thought I'd cheer you up.
That's
No,
good.
enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, both of you, coming on by.
Yeah, no worries. It's been fun.
All good.
Enjoy, everyone. Have a good night.
All right.
Gotcha.
Bye.
Oh, I get to listen to this intro now. Sick.
Oh, I get to outro. Yeah, okay. All right. That is where, on that note, we'll outro things a little bit here. That is where we'll wrap things up for this show. Thank you, everyone, for having tuned in. The Cats went down by 9 points. Unfortunately, it was close. We fought hard. We didn't get the job done. And we'll rebound and hopefully be back in 2 weeks after the bye. Cats going down 14 goals, 15-99 Fremantle to the Cats 14-6-90. Plenty of positives. We've discussed those over the course of the night, but a few things to look at and address going into a finals campaign in 7 or 8 weeks. a tush with one final little drive by there. Flaggers 2026. Let's see how it all shakes out. See in September. I don't know. When do you play the wildcard game? Is that in August? Anyway, we'll make sure to wrap things up there. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, share this video with your friends and family, and get the word out there about the Hoops Crew and all of the awesome content we're producing from myself, Ben, and the chaps. There's lots of it. Please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit our Patreon, patreon.com/the Hoops Crew, where you can subscribe and get early access, extended, and exclusive content delivered directly to your email inbox. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on the YouTube feed, there is more there on the Patreon for you to check out. That is patreon.com/the Hoops Crew. And all it costs you is a single cup of coffee per month to get access to all of it. You'll find me on socials. That's Paul James Games on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew, you find at the Hoops Crew. Until next time, remain Geelong strong, everyone. Cats go down by 9 points. Check out my reaction video tomorrow morning. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.
In his hand, it's time for the show. Dropping pussy down facts, mitts, forwards and backs. Representing G-Town while talking the smack. Clashing facts like Patty, where the hell you at? Hoops Crew are exploding, don't ever look back. Then we got Paul, yeah, he knows his stuff. He's a man, he's a myth, taking on the nuffs. The man don't miss, he loves to react. His words cut deep, he's a counterattack. Balls on fire, brings a mic to life. Don't fuck with B-Dog if you value your life. Oh, they fuck shit up, yeah, they run G-Town. The Hoops Crew's here and they'll never back down. Jake, Tommy, Sambo, always rocking the game. Benny and Paul, man, remember the names. Jake's bringing the noise with Johnny and Sambo, the chaps, chat boys. They're electric and they're ready to roll. The boys are on fire and they're taking control. Recaps and previews, yeah, they cover it all. Part of the Hoops Crew with Benny and Paul. They fuck shit up, yeah, they run G-Town. The Hoops Crew, baby, they'll never back down. Jake, Johnny, Sambo, always rocking the game. Benny and Paul, chasing glory and fame. Brad with the sleeves, Max Holmes and Jack Bowes. Tommy fucking Atkins, he'll break your damn nose. Stewie in the middle and Reese in the ruck. They see Big Jezza and they know they're fucked. They're the G-Town boys, go hard or go home. They're fucking insane, taking over the